Yo, yo. Can you guys hear me? Someone tell me you can hear me. If not, everything's jacked up. You can hear me. Excellent. We can hear. Well, welcome back to the stream, everybody. Hopefully, everyone's having a great winter. I know I've been super sick. Yumcox, thank you so much for following. Hey, actually, your ping just showed me that my sound is jacked up on my end. So let me fix something real quick. But while I'm doing that, let me just throw out a couple things. First and foremost, thank you so much for the follows, and thank you so much for the Prime subs. Because of the Prime subs that we've gotten on this channel, we've been able to host our very first $50 Escalade. Thank you so much for subscribing again. But because of that, we've been able to host our very first $50 tournament in StarCraft Underground. And that's really, really cool. Like, I'm completely, I'm not messing around when I'm saying that every single dollar that this brings in is just going to go straight over there, so that we can have a little bit of an amateur scene, put some money in some pockets, play for something, get some skin in the game. And that's very exciting, and it's been really well received. We have 16 players that are participating in a bracket. Game's already going, and we're going to make sure to get those casted and out to everyone as well. In additional news, so thank you for the Prime subs. And if you need to re-up your monthly sub, please do. No pressure. Additional news, I have thrown Tangia on this. Yeah, I know. Is it a SKU cast or a CPL cast? It's a me cast, and it's going to be CPL. I did throw TNG on the stream. I don't know how that's gonna go, but have fun with it if it works or anything. Yeah. All right. Cool. So now there's something that you can actually use channel points for. If it becomes a problem, I'm gonna get rid of it. But I thought it might be fun. Yo, Javi, thank you so much for the subscription. It's absolutely huge. Every time we get $50, we're gonna launch another tournament. So make sure you join that, and you can get some money for playing well. There's also some additional news that I am a little bit nervous to share with everyone, but I feel like it is part of my job as a caster and a very poor player and a member of the Zero Effort Zealot Rush to ensure that everyone is as informed as possible. Thank you, Javi, for the follow. And so, this just came in. I just heard it over the wire. We have some breaking news that we need to share with everyone, so stand by. Involved with CPL. We're going to restart that. Thank you, Man Shark. And indeed, today is a tough day for all involved with CPL, as there has been a scandal that has come to the surface. None other than esteemed admin and team captain of the team Zero Effort Zealot Rush, known as Escalade, with also having aliases such as Sexalade, Senior Tongue Advisor, and Hey, that crazy French-Canadian guy, has come under scrutiny after there has been allegations of potential bribery occurring within his team. Each week, participants may bribe him for inclusion in matches, where matches may not otherwise be permitted. Now, this bribery scandal has been ongoing. When investigators have dove deeper, people are aware of it. Many have even been quoted as saying that they've sent him feet pictures, monetary value in the form of US dollars and Canadian dollars, in addition to buckets of, quote unquote, that sweet ass poutine, whatever that is. Now, when asking other members of the CPL administration, it has come to the attention of the team captain of the Big Naturals, known for their huge and wonderful personality, Manadog, when he states, "We don't want to press charges or get the admins involved. In fact, we've been bribing him to continue his practices of taking bribes since it's been working out so well for our team." Manadog, aka Smut-Mutt. More details are sure to follow after this scandal, but for now, that's all we've got. Back to you, Man Shark. Thank you, Shark Man. It's very important that everyone stays very informed at what is going on in the CPL organization. Now, with that being said, we've got some sweet-ass StarCraft games. We've got 4 games. This is going to be the second half of the Week 6 Tier 1 between Zero Effort Zealot Rush and the Build Disorders. We've got Joe Migan playing Terran going up against Psygrass playing Protoss, who I had the honor of getting my butt whooped by very recently. Very good sport about it, too. Lirak playing Zerg up against GG Nori 13. who's going to be playing Terran. We've got Steamy and Javi facing off in what is sure to be a dynamic TVT. We've got Yumcox playing Protoss up against Twinset playing Terran. So very, very exciting. So everyone, before we jump into our first game, which is going to be Jomigan versus Cygrass, let's go ahead and knock out our anthem. If I can get over to my screen and click the right thing. There we go. Got to loosen up those fingers.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and thrall. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, legends play! CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the deep, we are the coach you believe. We are the coach you believe.
All right, all the crap's done with. Let's get to the games. All right, first up, we've got the two players that I mentioned before. I had to restart my game because the sound was all jacked up. So I'm getting to the replay again. All right, it's going to be Jomigan versus Cygrass. Let's go into game one. It's going to be on Neo Sylphid for the first map. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now I'll be fixing the scorecard and stuff, so I'm not going to move around a whole lot. I'll get the music going too. Everything's a complete mess. But it's going to be alright, because we're going to have some good StarCraft today. Jomigan, I think that's how it's spelled. Oh gosh, blue versus blue. Jomigan playing Terran, team Zealot. And then we've got, what is it? What's this other player? Protoss, that's right. That's right, it's Grassed. We've got Cygrass playing Protoss, team build, disorders, looking good. We're on Neo Sylphid. One of my favorite Sylphids. CPL 12. Week 6, year 1. Sweet, look at that. See? You can get work done while watching some awesome StarCraft. Now, is Shift Tab going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Oh, it does. It does work. Neo Sylphid, a 3-player map, kicking it off for our first game of this series. We've got Grassed representing Big Naturals as our red Protoss down here in the 5 o'clock-ish position, 4 or 5 o'clock position. Up here at the 12 o'clock, we've got Jomigan, our Terran hero, representing the zero-effort Zealot rush. Did he bribe Escalade? Well, we may never know, but evidence is sure to come to light. Barracks going down here, starting a little bit of a wall off at the natural. Always interesting to see. I always feel like that's a decision when going against Protoss, whether you want to deal with the Dragoons shooting at it all day or what the deal is. But I also find that this intersection, for both Protoss and Terran especially, is really just tough to get your units to go where you want them to go. With the eggs at the gap and the tightness of this choke, it's a pain in the butt. What's Control M? Control M? Oh, Data, you're amazing! I didn't even know that was a thing. I only just learned about Control... Whoa, Control F gets rid of that? What's Control T do? I think that's turn rate. Very fun. I also learned that F6 brings you to the game zoom, like when you're playing. Alright, so we do have a first scout going off here for our Terran player, I think. I was poking around, so I missed pretty much everything. I'm reading Escalade's rebuttal right now. I was interrupted at work during the breaking news. I'll say one thing, all of it is fake news. Such a bad news channel. Oh, man. Yeah, if you don't like it, discredit it, you know? Deflect, deflect, and deflect. Alright, so Zealot's going to be running up here into the natural, but Bunker doing its job with 2 Marines. It might actually get this SCV, but a little bit of friendly RNG and a little bit of dancing around by the Zealot. Looks like the SCVs can be safe. And this Zealot's going to really die for free, getting a little bit of damage on those Marines, but not taking anything down with it. SCV going to die here from this Dragoon. Or is it going to escape? Nope, just doesn't make it. Try pressing R. Oh, yeah, it gets rid of the little bar thing. I like the bar thing. Without the bar thing, there's just empty space, and I'd have to readjust the little stream. That looks like everything's on purpose. What's Control Y do? Oh, it gets rid of the thing behind the thing that I have protecting the thing. Beautiful. You guys are true casters. I'm just a wannabe. Meanwhile, up here we do have an academy going down. Looks like a little bit of a either concern over DTs and he wants to use it for comsats for detection, or he does want to go into a little bit more bioplay. I'm not sure if he saw something. Oh, you know what? In his scout, he may have realized not a whole lot going on here. Where's the proxy? And using that as an early form of detection. So proxy 2 gate with the 3rd gateway back home, making everything seem cool and dandy, blocking his base with this Dragoon, preventing any further information for Joe McGinn to get. Couple Dragoons out front. Not sure if they have range. I've completely missed everything. I didn't mean for this FPS thing to be in the way either. That's really distracting. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I don't like it. Alright, eBay going down, but we do have scanners coming up as well. So Joe McGinn definitely spooked. Feels like there's a risk of DTs. Now the SCV does come up here and sees the gateways. And is also aware so far that there's no DT tech out on the map. Unless something's been built in the base. But either way, very well prepared. So we've got a whole half dozen of Dragoons here, plunking away at this bunker. And we're still waiting on the machine shop for Joe McGinn. If this bunker were to die, like these SCVs over-repair it, or if more Dragoons show up, this could be really, really scary. Joe McGinn deciding to throw down a second bunker, try to block the path to his main as much as he can with this barracks, which will allow SCVs to kind of get in those holes and plug them. Oh, but now he's getting squirrely with the Dragoons, moving forward inch by inch, targeting down the bunker, nowhere for the Marines to go. The SCV's body blocking them. One survives, gets into the secondary bunker, but without the repair already in place, it goes down just as fast. And oh my gosh, we've got game number 1. Cy Grast takes it in dominating fashion, giving him the first map win in this series. If I can move, we'll go to our scorecard. Excellent job. Great game by both players. Definitely good on Joe McGinn as well for reading that something was up. Like, he went into that main base and he immediately knew, like, okay, something's funky here. Let's get the comsats. Let's get the engineering bay. Let's play a little bit safe. But unfortunately, it wasn't safe enough. It wasn't a tricky play. It was a hyper-aggressive play. All right, so next up, we're going to be going to Eclipse. So we've had a 3-player map. Now we're going into a 2-player map. We'll see how these players adjust. Gosh, so many windows open. Control-Alt-F. Thank you, thank you. I think beer gallons or someone was talking about it in one of the chats, and so I immediately opened up StarCraft and was just like playing with all these hotkeys that were being discussed, and then immediately forgot them. All right, so up here in the top right on Eclipse, we do have Grast, who just came off a very decisive victory in that last matchup on Neo Sylphid. I forgot that I did that. I forgot this was a thing. Anyway, representing the build disorders. Now down here in the bottom left, representing the zero effort Zealot Rush, we've got Joe McGinn. I don't know if I like the Tangia, guys. I don't know if I like it. I wanted to try to find additional ways for channel points to be kind of used and maybe get some funds for more tournaments. But like, yeah, we can't have that going on through a cast. So, and I know the internet well enough to be like, hey, if I say don't do that, you're just gonna do it more. So Escalade, thank you for trying them all out. You clearly have a lot of points. And look at this, Grast showing up with more hyper-aggressive play. With another proxy gateway down here at the 6 o'clock. Oh, you know what I can do? I can actually turn off Tangia.
Don't cry, don't cry.
There we go. Just gonna turn it off. Refund you? No. Stop spending points. I don't even know how to refund you. If I could. From all your bribes. Yeah, don't spend money on Tangia right now. I have it disabled. Alright, so barracks going down. We have a nice Sim City to protect against Zealots. You're benching me for 3 weeks? Man, I'm already doing my part by not signing up. We need to get those wins. We don't need to see me out there in the clown show. This probe is doing a good job being annoying. It has 2 SCVs chasing it at the moment. Right now trying to get gas, but struggling to keep 3 on gas to get a factory up. I like this kind of wall situation going on here. I don't know if the entirety of this will be Zealot tight, but I think we're going to find out real soon as the Zealot and the probe both show up at Jomagan's base. 1 Marine is all we've got, so it's really going to come down to how well did he plan his base layout. And right now it's looking like he did a pretty dang good job. He's going to have to probably drill some of these SCVs. It looks like he's doing it aggressively as opposed to, you know, trying to run them away. Doing a really good job of swapping out the hurt ones, making sure that they stay safe. We do have a second Marine here standing by watching the first one shoot. Classic government work. And a second Zealot shows up. And you can see in the production tab, more Zealots are just bound to start trickling into this base. I think once we have 3 Zealots in here and no Vulture in sight, right? Like the gas was a little bit delayed. Right now there's no factory being built. Vulture is really what you're looking for to put an end to this Zealot pressure, and it's just not coming at the moment. 1 Zealot does go down, another one has no shields, but the damage to the SCVs is starting to pile up. And it looks like Jomagan's going to be recovering pretty well here. 3 Marines, 1 Zealot, 4 Marines, a 5th one on the way, a couple more queued up, and I think he's going to be all right. But what's the transition plan once all these Zealots have been cleaned out of the base? Oh my gosh, this is so annoying, and kudos to Jomagan for like surviving. Whenever this happens to me, I just die. Happened just yesterday. I think that was one of the games I was talking about when I played Grast. I think it was him. It might have been another Protoss. I lost like 9 TVPs yesterday. But I legitimately lost to like 2 Zealots. And it was because my factory didn't make, and then like some micro problems. It was just an absolute disaster. Game was over in like 4 minutes. Okay, so we have recovered for Jomagan. He's getting his SCV out. He needs to find out what's going on across the map. He's not aware of this this gateway as of yet. He might be if he was really good at knowing timings and things like that. Maybe the Zealots showed up a little bit early, but he has not seen this or confirmed that it's there. Now it looks like a probe's going to be heading out, potentially expanding, maybe not. Doesn't quite have the money for it. Just going to be throwing down a pylon. And the SCV is going to be getting into the main. He's going to see range upgrading. He's going to see 1 gateway and not really much else. So I think the lack of pylons alone is going to tip him off. And you can see Jomagan running around the base. 1, to stay away from the Dragoon, but 2, to check all the dead area. To see if there's anything tucked away in here. And I think he has pretty solid confidence that there's not. So with that, going a little bit defensive, not starting off with building any vultures, but going straight into tanks. Now he is still researching mines, so the tank looks like it's going to be used for just the initial defense. Yo, Elute Rio Flores, thank you for the follow. Good to have you. All right, we've got the barracks lifting. No, I think Jomigan's just fine here. He might actually get a good trade. But the ramp is just so annoying with the AI. So he's going to try to come down here, repair the barracks a little bit. Keep the SCVs in front. He does finally have a vulture out, and we have mines already researched. But I know Jomigan definitely wants to expand. Yeah, I see that there in the chat, Data. You're absolutely right. Grass is just sitting here. Delay that expansion. Delay that expansion. Because it wasn't free to do that aggressive play. It put him a little bit on the back foot as well. He's only just now getting his expansion up. He's starting to build additional gateways back at home. And now we have the CC starting on site at the natural with mines out here to defend. So we are going straight into Templar Archives somewhere. Ooh, way up here. There's also a Citadel tucked in behind there. Zoom in for you guys. You guys can believe me. So it does look like we're going to Templar Tech. And what that means is that there's not going to be any observers on the field for a minute. So the mines actually might be really annoying depending on how Jomigan tries to spread them across the map. Oh man, slow vultures are so painful to play with. Okay, we do have a bunker. It is full. We have a tank. Siege on the way. About 2/3 of the way done. Oh, wow. And Grass is trying to push in here. Zealot goes down. Clears the front of any mines. And is going to start plinking away at this bunker. Oh, no. A little too close for the tank. Don't let the tank die. The tank dies. But a good mine detonation prevents the Dragoons from just running over this position, running by. But, oh my gosh, that is such a bad scenario for our Terran player. Losing that initial defensive tank is just such a feel bad. Now, we do have a DT out here, but well-placed missile turret is going to detect that if it approaches that bunker. And there is still a mine here if the DT were to try to swing by. Okay. Preparing, shooting. Got it. What's going on everywhere else? All right, we're starting a second factory. Getting 2 tank production online. Now, siege is complete. But Jomigan's going to push out here and try to shoo this Dragoon away old-fashioned style. All right, and it looks like we've kind of stabilized from the Terran perspective. And, you know, even after all that aggressive play, I feel like the game state just kind of got delayed a little bit for both players. But both players are still doing okay economically, right? 32 workers for our Terran to 34 for our Protoss. Now, Protoss is taking the opportunity to get a third base. And it looks like he has a Dragoon poking around looking for any vultures. Wolfix, thank you so much for following. Good to see you. All right, that vulture in the top left is going to get knocked out. Ooh, and we've got a Stargate. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like he might be trying to race up to Arbiter Tech. Or straight to carriers. Fleet beacon down, baby. Second Stargate going down. I feel like Protoss does this when they just, you know, don't want to play for very long. They're just like, I need the easy win button. Let's just make a bunch of carriers. Alright, the mines are going to dissuade this DT from going any further, but without any detection in the form of scans or a science vessel, this little push that Jomigan was trying to move out with got pretty much shut down from that DT. Now, earlier, the Vulture saw that this was here, planted some mines, so I imagine that this is going to be kind of an early objective for Jomigan to try to get out and knock this out, just so that he can put the defender's advantage back on the defender's base, as opposed to having the means of production right outside his natural. Alright, we got some Dragoons sharking around. SCV scouting. I wonder if this is going to be a ninja base. Oh, we going to see some Kung Fu fighting? Maybe. We'll keep an eye on him. Vultures running around. Going to see if they can sneak up into here. Might be a good opportunity. This hasn't been walled off yet. Dropping some mines up here at the 11 o'clock position. Oh, but he does have a DT blocking the ramp. This might frustrate the Vultures. And you know what? I actually don't know the interaction with Forge and Pylon, but a cannon does go down right there. And I think this is going to shut down this little, this harassment. Okay, so Jomigan opts to just drop some mines, see where else he can poke. He does spot the shuttle, so he knows that that is out and about on the map. Yeah, poking around, scouting, getting intel. And this dang DT, it's sitting here with almost 4 kills. Enormous thorn in the side of all of Jomigan's plans. I'm telling you, DTs. We're going to see DTs and carriers. We even see Corsairs. Is that Disruption Web? And Disruption Web! Oh my gosh. Now I have some questions on Disruption Web. So obviously you can use it and negate like siege tanks and things like that. But does it negate turrets? I don't know. I don't know enough about Disruption Web. I don't see it enough. Yeah, right now, definitely, I think Grass is in a very strong position. Jomigan's been struggling to get out of his base, secure map control, placing a lot of mines here. Watch this DT drag them all to the tank. Almost does, but ends up going up in a poof of smoke. Okay, so Jomigan's going to come out here. He's going to wipe out this little advance staging base here for Grass. It's been out there for way too long. A little bit of a mine clearing operation going on up here at the 12 o'clock. And we have all these Corsairs. What is this? Not a single thing that shoots up in this army, by the way. But why would there be? Alright, so Jomigan having to take out his own supply depot. A hero supply depot, by the way. Good to be sent off. 21 gun salute there. That saved Jomigan early on against the Zealot pressure. Unfortunately, it does supply block Jomigan. But he was well ahead of that. Good to go. So we have another Stargate going up. So I could have swore that this fleet beacon was going to be for carriers right off the bat. But that does not seem to be the case. Seems like he's going heavy Corsair, heavy Gateway. Plans on using Disruption Web as his main way of breaking any type of siege lines. I cannot wait for the big engagement. Terran able to get a third base online. And now we're moving out. Now this isn't the biggest army for Terran. There's some opportunity with the terrain. Right? These nice little chokes do suit the siege tanks and the mines pretty well. But this is just a lot. Mines do a pretty decent job of softening up the Zealots, and here come the Corsairs. Disruption webs everywhere. The tanks deemed useless in this fight. Look at this. Disruption webbing everything. The Protoss Dark Swarm coming out in force. Never see this. He's even going to shoot down a barracks. This is awesome. And now we've got carriers in production. This is an incredible move here by Grass, and that's going to do it for our series. Very cool play. Very cool play. I've never seen that before.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
I thought I got rid of you, Tangia. I guess not on this one. That's okay. We can have Tangia on this one. We're just not going to do it over the game. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. What was I doing? Right, scores. Okay, so great series. Congratulations to Grass for that one. We got to see some really high-level play there, I think. Next up, we got Lirak versus Gigi Nori. I'm going to go ahead and put in the score sheet stuff right now while I have their names up. So Lirak is a Zerg, and then we have Gigi Nori, 13, who's going to be playing Terran for the build disorders, and we are going to be on Neo Sylphid. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next game. I'm excited. If all the series are as fun as this, we are in for a day. Absolute treat of a day. All right, Neo Sylphid ZVT, the classic matchup. Oh, man. Gets my blood flowing to all the right places. Come on. Live PC. There we go. Down here in the bottom left, we have Lirak representing Zezer. The zero effort Zealot Rush is our red Zerg. And over here in the bottom right, we have our blue Terran GG Nori 13 representing the build disorders. In-game chat. So for those of you that have filled out your bingo sheets or have not, if you have filled them out or not filled them out, King Anderson in the CPL Discord, let him know. He handles all the prize support for the bingo sheets. Oh, GG no re. Yeah. Yeah, no, that can't be it. It's gonna be GG Nori 13. G-Nor. Kind of like how you spell gnome. Or gnarly. Alright, so supply depot going down here at the natural for gnarly. Over here we got Lirak heading out in the correct direction with his overlord. Going to be getting a good initial scout off. Is currently up to 11 drones, then drops that spawning pool. Meanwhile, over here, barracks being thrown down to help kind of solidify that wall. And the SCV goes tearing off in a direction where he will find absolutely nothing. But with it being a 3-player map, he will have confirmation that Lirak is over here, the bottom left. Brass, my man. Dude, that Corsair game was so fun to watch. Yeah, you're late to the party. You missed your matches, and you missed the newscast. Oh, man, I was pretty proud of the newscast. And you missed that we finally had enough Prime subs over the past 3 months to do that $50 tournament in StarCraft Underground. So, if those of you watching are not a part of StarCraft Underground, we are now officially doing monetary tournaments. So please, if you have a free Prime subscription available, shoot it our way. All the money goes 100% into prize pools. And it is good fun. We'll have those casted too. Alright. 4 Zerglings. Running right by this SCV. Nope. 2 of them peeling off. Alright, trying to decide which direction they want to go in life. Decide they want to go murk some robotic dudes. And then 2 more heading over here to go scout this wall. Hatchery down at the natural for our Zerg player. SCV does die. And Terran is getting their expansion up. Alright, Zerglings are going to poke, be annoying. Looks like the Marines on a smoke break. Classic Marines. Second barracks going up. Alright, looks like a very standard ZVT opening. Going into lair. I imagine we'll see Mutalisks. Not just because you always see Mutalisks, but because this map particularly, this natural is freaking impossible to defend against Mutalisks. If you're me, maybe GG Nori 13 has a plan. But, you know, the secret for me on Neo Sylphid is if you have anything that flies and you can just put it here, like, you win. And not only that, but that's the direction of our Zerg's base. Now, Drone is here ready to put down that Spire. Spire does get dropped. 5 Zerglings hanging out as early warning. And we're starting to pump them Marines. Gas is up. Only 1 mining at this time. We'll see if he goes eBay, get +1, or it looks like he's going to go Academy first. Start getting that stim underway. Get those scans up. Hey, McTarran, what's up, man? I hate this map just because of the main base locations. Like, when I try to click to scout on where to send my initial scout, they're just off enough that you do weird things like click right over this wall, or you know, you click like down here thinking it's the main, but it's not. Same on this side, you know, you end up in this natural or this expansion all the time. That's just me though. It's a skill issue for sure. All right, we do have a second gas up for our Zerg player. Spire just now about to be completed. We've got scanners, at least one being dropped at the natural. Stim halfway completed, and we've got our medics. So we'll see if this is going to trigger a move out from GG Nori. He's got that good old-fashioned... Ooh, he's got 11 Marines. Sometimes you'll see this with 10. 2 medics. Time to go poke, prod, and get some sunken colonies down. As Zergling paused after that engagement, was like, all right, I should be dead. Oh, I'm not. Alright, more Zerglings running around the map. Potentially going to try to sneak into the natural base, or at least get a surround on this force. And the Sunkens pop. Whoa! 3 Sunkens in an E-chamber. Now, these Sunkens are coming down a little bit late, actually. Oh, no. Targeting... Okay, so... Looks like targeting down the middle one. This one might finish in time to get some damage off, but this is looking really good for GG Nori. He's going to knock out this Sunken. There's only 3... Oh my gosh, and Lyric says, enough's enough. GG. GG Nori scoring 1 for the good guys. The good guys being Terran in this case. Build Disorders, not so much the good guys. But great game, both players. Let's go on into map number 2 of this series. Man, that's got to feel good as a Terran to just actually run across and kill a Zerg opponent. I see it happen all the time. Oh, man. Maybe you guys want to see the game too. Here you go. I can push the stupid... There we go. GG Nori. KK. And this time we're on Eclipse. You know, I'm wondering if we're going to see faster matches in these series, because we're starting off with a 3-player map and we're going into a 2-player map. And generally it opens up for a lot more aggressive play. Not that last game was. It was a pretty standard game. It was just kind of a little bit of a late Sunken, which was all it was. Like, if the Sunkens were just 20 seconds earlier, 10 seconds earlier, that game may have been very, very different. But up here in the top right, we got GG Nori representing the Build Disorders as our blue Terran. And then down here in the bottom left, we have Lyrac, our red Zerg. Kill Ace, you ever dabble in tossing Zerg? As a kid, I mained Zerg. And I say, like, as a kid, so, like, from, like, 7 years old to, like, 17 years old, playing with cheats against the computer and, like, my little brother, I played Zerg. So never very seriously. Protoss was my brother's race, so I never played it. We were very territorial. And now I just play Terran because I pick my race based off of the mirror match, and I think the Terran mirror match is the most fun. All right, hatchery going down here at the natural before spawning pool. Looks like that was an 11 hatch. And then a barracks going down here at the natural. All right, SCV making its way up into the main. We'll see if the timing of this spawning pool is caught by GG Nori. I don't even know if he's poked in far enough to see the spawning pool. He hasn't yet. I think right now what he's waiting to do is he's waiting to see if the lings are going to pop. And how many. And he's going to throw down a bunker. Here we go. We got 0 Marines on the field. But this definitely looks like a reaction to not seeing the lings. To not seeing that spawning pool completed. Now, with a big drone pool here. going to shoo that SCV away. Looks like we still have a couple more coming across the map, so I don't think he's abandoned this plan completely. But this bunker is taking a ton of damage. Does cancel it, loses the SCV, but Lirak lost it. What is this? Seven drones worth of mining? Oof. And now here come the Marines. And there's not much money here for our Zerg player, but there was enough money to get 8 Zerglings out. So Lirak's going to be really safe. In fact, the counter may just kill our Terran player. We've got 1 barracks, 2 Marines, sprinkled out all onesie-twosie across the map. I like this play. Buy as much time as possible with this Marine's life. It's just like, Joe, just run. Lirak, not about it. Sends his Zerglings all the way across. But I think that move did save this 1 Marine's life. Okay, Marines posting up in holes. SCVs coming to help their buddies. This Marine might be screwed. Alright, but we have enough Marines now. 4 Marines. It's going to be fine against 4 Lings sitting at a wall. And we see the layer timing going down now. I don't think it was an 8 racks. It didn't feel like it. Academy and 2nd Barracks going down. Refinery as well. And now we're back to a normal game. We do have a good amount of Lings here, though. We got 10 Lings sitting outside the natural. It looks like we're probably going to go for some more Mutalisk play again. CVT, baby. Love it. You want to look at the wall again? People love talking about walls. Oh my gosh. They love it. Alright, so we do have a spire being built. A couple of Zerglings split. Keep an eye out for any type of expanding, and also keep an eye out for any type of army movement. The Overlord's already peeking this avenue of approach. Oh, you know what? These Lings might actually get a little bit of an ambush. Trying to go for a surround here before the Marines get to the high ground. Not getting any Marines at all. And this push is steamrolling across the map. See if I can right-click on anything. There we go. Here we go. We do have the scans going down as well for GG Nori. Scan the main. Saw the spire is not done. We'll see if there's going to be a second scan to check for Sunkens. And we see 3 being built in the production tab. I want to keep this like this for the scan. Alright, whatever. He's not going to scan. Alright, so now he moves forward. He kills the Overlord. And now, again, we're in a situation where the Sunkens are just a little bit too late. And I think this might spell disaster for our Zerg player. We brought Fire Bats this time. Oh, man. So unfortunate for Lirak. GG. And that's going to give GG Nori a 2-0 victory over his opponent. Alright, so right now we have Build Disorders coming out hot. Sidegrass and GG Nori slapping around the potentially corrupt and bribe-riddled zero-effort Zealot rush. And that brings us to our 3rd series of the day. This is a TVT, so buckle up, grab some drinks, you know, kiss your wife, your husband, goodbye. Let them know you'll be back in the spring. This one might be a long one. Finding replays. Steamy. No, it's not just hot in here. It's steamy. I'm going to go ahead and do the scorecard real quick. Alright, so we've got Steamy, which is a dope gamer tag. I think it's Terran. And then we've got Javi, who I've heard is the amazing voice behind the CPL anthem. And then we're going to be on Neo Sylphid and everything looks right in the world. Let's go ahead and head over there and see what happens. Ask, no, I don't know the outcomes of these matches. I actually picked these matches, one because the tier 1 players, they just, oh my gosh, they whine about wanting to be casted so much. They're like, everyone's too scared to cast our matches, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty scary. And then also, I picked the secondary criteria, so that was the tier. And the secondary criteria was the fact that I wanted to pick names that I haven't casted a ton of, and I try to mix the teams up. So this half of this tier seemed to work pretty well. So down here in the bottom right, we have Javi representing the Build Disorders up against Steamy representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush. 3-player map, TVT. Let's see what we can do. Oh man, both players are building depots, SCVs. I like this depot placement. Yep, yep. When there's nothing to analyze, you have to analyze something. You're just like, yep, that depot placement right there. Tell you what, that'll stop a vulture from parking behind your mineral line. This one, out of the way, along the right side of the screen. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. We have a barracks going down for both players. Now this, you'll notice, and something I'm trying to remember to do when I can, is they're building them up against the wall towards where they could fly it out to another base for good scouting. Just kind of speeds it up. Build the barracks out as far as you can within your main base. Then once you have it, you have your 1 or 2 Marines or whatever the case may be before you get your factory tech up. Then you can lift it, and it's already, you know, a screen's distance closer to your opponent and their avenues where they may be attacking you from. So, small little thing. Both players paying attention to the details here. Now we have an earlier scout coming out from Steamy. He's going to be heading up here to the 12 o'clock position and seeing nothing. Scout coming out for Javi as well. The Javi scout is going to go to the correct base. He's going to have a very good idea of what Steamy is up to. Both players throwing down factories at this time. And I think this is where we might start seeing a deviation. Is there going to be 2 factories? Are we going to see some sort of 1-1-1 build that goes into early wraiths? Are we going to see 3 factory vulture? Someone going to go into a Goliath build? So after this factory is complete for both players, I think we're going to get a little bit more detail. We can also probably look at the gas here. We've got 1 on gas for Javi, 1 on gas for Steamy. No tells there. Javi's SCV gets trapped behind the mineral line because there was a depot. See? Steamy knew exactly what he was doing. Alright, CC going down for both players. Right now we still are at mirrored builds. A little bit of a faster vulture here for Javi. Looks like he's going to be building a couple of them before he throws down a machine shop. Alright, so both players sending their vultures straight to the opponent's base. Now Javi's taking a little bit more of a indirect route. Getting some scouting intel as well. And this is that barracks float that I was talking about earlier for you non-Terran players. This is why having it built up against that wall is a little bit helpful. 2 vultures here at the front are going to protect Javi's base just fine. We are getting a machine shop for Steamy. No machine shop. Okay, now there's the machine shop. Alright, we're still mirrored, everybody. Everything's the same, with the exception that Javi's is just a little bit faster. Steamy upgrading speed. Uh-oh, 3 vultures versus 2. Nice little target firing of the Marine there. According to Artosis casts, you want your vultures to target down those Marines. Their DPS is just too high in those vulture on vulture fights. Alright, so currently sitting at 2 factories. 3rd factory going down for Steamy. Alright, 3rd factory going down for Hobby. So 3 fact vultures, both players getting speed. Steamy's speed is going to be done significantly sooner. That's going to allow him to get into mines and likely set up a little bit more of a mine contain outside Javi's base before Javi can really break out with his tanks. We'll see how that goes. 4 vultures, 4 vultures. Deciding to move out already now that speed has upgraded. Now I hope Steamy doesn't try to dive these. These early vulture trades can be absolutely devastating if they go wrong. But he's just poking in, seeing that the vultures are at home. And you can see here the vulture count growing steadily for both players. What's a group of vultures called? A boy band. That's correct. These are boy bands of vultures. So the band is back together, boys. Mines being upgraded for both players. Still seeing pretty much the same build from each. I'd say the biggest difference is it looks like we're only using 2 to mine gas here for Javi. And this is something that I've seen with these 3 factory vulture builds, is the prioritization of minerals. Because all you're trying to do is pump out as many vultures, never rest on them, and depots as possible. Now, right now, this engagement not looking good for Steamy. Steamy needs to get out of here. This is one of those early vulture fights I was talking about. This can tilt the scales so fast. If they have one more vulture than you, if you just engage into them and they get that opening volley off first, they can come in and just wipe an entire mineral line. Boy bands are mean, man. And right now, that looks like that might be what's happening. Javi absolutely steamrolling the vultures from Steamy. And he's already on the SCVs. SCVs are starting to drop. The vultures are dying. Plus GG gets called and Steamy is out. Javi secures game number 1. That was a beautiful game. And this is the fun. I mean, I like TVT as a mirror match for different reasons. I don't actually like the vulture war part. But the vulture war part is still pretty cool. It's still pretty cool because the defender's advantage, like they build so fast that even if you have a little bit of an unfavorable trade, like in the middle or at your opponent's base, you can usually get the boy band back together and get everything back in harmony. You know, that's what boy bands are all about, I think. Anyway, Javi securing a win, looking a little lopsided here for the build disorders. They're doing pretty good. I think it's because the Zealot team captain did not buy the team jerseys. I'm waiting for my jersey in the mail. He said he would send it to me as long as I sent him feet pictures. So I did. Yada yada. Anyway, let's update the score here. It looks like we're on Eclipse. Javi is leading the series 1-0. Yeah, Data, I think you know who the team captain is for the build disorders. Big Daddy himself. Up here in the top right, Steema representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush is our blue Terran. Bottom left, Javi representing the build disorders, who answers to no other than Big Daddy as our red Terran. Now we get to wait for both these players to build the same things. But it is Eclipse, a 2-player map where cheese is welcome and encouraged. Esk, you're not supposed to admit these things. I'm going to start doing newscasts for every every stream. I had so much. That idea came to me last night at like 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep, and I immediately came to my computer and was like, "Can I make a scene, like a breaking news scene? What would my first story be?" Then I remembered seeing a chat about people being disgruntled about not playing a certain week and how they didn't bribe Escalate enough, and I was like, "Yeah, that's the story that people need to know about." Again, you can see the barracks placement. I only point it out because it's something I've recently tried to start incorporating into my play. Ah, yes, the refineries. Yeah. Ah, yes, Betty, I'm sorry. The 4 a.m. high IQ thoughts. They gonna high five? They gonna kiss? That was perfect. I got way too much of a kick out of that. Alright, anyway. SCVs are still building shit. Playing StarCraft's serious. No Marines. No Marines this time. You clip it. No one even clipped my newscast. The only thing that's been clipped is the D web. People were like, "What kind of web?" They were like, "D." And they were like, "D's nuts." Also, like, D's nuts jokes are far superior to 6-7. And we need to bring them back. Alright, this SCV just about dead. The Marine does end up getting built. Scooted on over here to knock out this SCV. And it is going to die. Alright, cool. All is right in the world. He's getting SCV for Stime back up over here, but I'm curious if he's going to just chill here, or if this might turn into some sort of starport, vulture drop situation. Or maybe it's just forgotten about. Who knows? But for some reason, this Marine's off hunting. You might be tripping because there was no expansion. So we see that Javi has expanded. No expansion as of yet from Stime. Vulture production underway. Going 2 vultures before machine shop. Right here we're sitting at 1 vulture in the machine shop. So seeing a little bit of a different build from Javi this time. And the Marine did come out here and find this SCV. I'm not entirely sure why he was looking for the SCV. Maybe there's some sort of history, or, you know, a lot of replays are shared. Maybe there's some sort of known build on this map that I'm unaware of. The SCV does get taken out right outside the natural of Javi. Bunker, man center, vultures, Marines. You know how it goes. Second factory going down for Steamy. Still sitting on 1 factory for Javi. So Javi banking up a little bit of money here. I'm curious where it's going to be going. It looks like he does decide to invest in siege mode. And this is going to be really powerful if Steamy doesn't try to just zoom on in here too early. Now we're going to have the tank here, so the ramp will be easily clogged up. So I think that option kind of goes out the window now. And it's not like Steamy has mines yet. If Steamy had mines, then I would say the tank is under a little bit of threat. But I think right now, Javi's pretty set to be safe. I don't think these vultures are going to do any damage to him. Engineering bay being constructed. Something spooked Javi. He's concerned about air. Concerned about those early drops. He's also going to be able to use that eBay for some additional vision for his tank. And we see the boy band coming together. They're starting to form. The Saja boys are here. They're about to wreak havoc on the front of Javi's natural. Alright, barracks is getting shot up by Marines, as it does. We're up to 3 factories. This looks like the exact same build that we saw last game from Steamy. And Steamy's going home. I don't know if it's because he saw something with this barracks or not. Or if he's going to wait until speed is upgraded. Yeah, remember, we just came off a game where the vultures were caught out a little bit by Javi's Vulture Force. And so being able to stay at home almost ensures that you'll have a favorable trade if you're doing a mirror build. And so this might just be him playing a little bit more cautious with his Vultures after last game. 2 siege tanks. More tanks on the way. Now, there's going to need to be a tech swap of some sort here soon. Also, the eBay did get dropped here at the natural choke. This is going to funnel all the Vultures through one tight area, this little engagement area that Javi has made for himself. So I like that move a lot. Oh, and here they come. All right, here come the Vultures. They think that they've pounced on easy prey, but then they show up and there's all these tanks. Steamy probably thinking, damn it, there's tanks everywhere. He needs those mines. He needs those mines now, and they are not upgraded just yet. Third tank gets sieged where the engineering bay was. Got some Vultures hanging out here, preventing an expansion. What else we got going on? We're going up to 4 factories for Steamy. Got it. Cool. Getting an academy. Needs to scan. Needs to see what's going on in there. Makes a lot of sense. Academy for Javi. And Javi's still sitting on 3 bases, but he has continuous tank production going. It's just now about to match Vulture's speed. He also has a armory going down somewhere. There it is. And there's the mines. Okay, you can feel a little bit safer with the mines for potential just wild tank pushes. Especially when you fill an entire screen with these dang things. Okay, I keep hearing sieging noises. I don't know if he's going to roll or if he's just repositioning. So right now, Steamy, with a higher supply count, lower worker count, a lot of this being made up by Vultures. Vultures fill up your supply so fast. And we're getting into double tank production here for Steamy. And we're prepared to do so as well for Javi. So Javi having to take some time here, clear some of these mines. And Vultures just melt to tanks. 2 siege tank shots. Kills 3 of them. Disgusting. The Steamy's got tanks of his own. Gonna try to get this contain established. That's annoying. Buildings are shooting buildings. Alright, so Steamy's tanks looking to come up here, trying to seal this right here. This choke that leads to all the expansions that would be naturally taken. Huge mine right there. It does get taken out. And it looks like Steamy about to set up a pretty nice loose contain. Pretty nice loose contain. Yeah, you could have a nice loose contain, right? There's lots of nice things that are loose. Okay, observing's a little bit all over the place. Let's double check what's going on. Ooh, CC's gonna float to the third base. Man, is it gonna be frustrated when it finds out there's a mine there. But that's okay, we have scanners. That Vulture will be able to take it out. But it's gonna tip Steamy off. And Steamy's gonna be able to head over here and just deny it or delay it. Ooh, good, he did bring an SCV. I was just about to say, these tanks are all hurting. I really wish they had some SCVs here. Third base going up for Steamy. We'll see if some Marines pop out of this, but it doesn't look like it's needed. Vulture's going to come up here, schwack this SCV, and be mega annoying for Steamy to expand. A couple of Marines are going to go up there, try to fight that off. Does look like Javi was able to drop his third CC. A couple of Vultures shoot each other to death. And so both players really doing their best to delay each other's third base from coming online. I like Steamy's position here. He's higher on supply. He's got a whole bunch of tanks. He's got mines established. Oh, but here comes the push from Javi. Ooh, and I say he has a bunch of tanks. Javi's got a whole buttload of tanks, but they're not sieged yet. And these initial volleys are doing so much damage. Oh no, the tanks are targeting the Vultures. And with the barracks providing vision, Javi's attempt at a breakout, I think, failed. It stalled out right here at this line, and these tanks could not penetrate what Steamy had established. Nice spread here from Javi. This barracks doing great work at being a spotter. Look at that, 2 health. No upgrades. +1 upgrades for Javi. And right now we see Javi going into a little bit of a tech swap. So Starport is down, and we're starting to see some Wraiths. The Wraiths might be what is missing to help break out of this position. There's no anti-air here. I haven't seen any upgrades. We're only just now seeing a couple Goliaths being produced, so there's the first upgrade being started for Steamy. And right now, this is where all the action is taking place. This rectangle of no man's land. Scans going off everywhere, clearing those mines. Ooh, very dead SCV. And here comes the Wraith. Immediately gonna start targeting down these tanks. Nice choice on that tank, by the way. That one almost dead. Javi picking all the weakest of the tanks to pick off first. I mean, look at this guy, 2 health. Pew, pew. Ooh, still getting some shots off before it dies, though. Steamy with some reinforcements trying to seal off this 3rd base. And that's a pretty deciding factor of this game. Because Steamy has his 3rd base up, he's getting all that income. He's going to be able to start matching the production to that, getting up to like 7 factories or more. And Javi's going to be stuck waiting for that same economy. But these Wraiths are about to start paying for themselves super fast, especially this one. He's got 4 kills. I think they're all tanks. Well worth the investment on that little plane. 1 Goliath, 2 Goliath, 3 Goliaths here, trying to knock these down. And they should do a pretty good job. They don't have Charon boosters or whatever the hell the range is called. So, losing out on some extra damage potentially could have actually killed 1 or 2 of these. Oh, and here comes the push from Javi. Couple initial siege volleys going off from Steamy. Oh, but the targeting on the vultures again. This might be absolutely detrimental for Javi. These tanks just want to shoot vultures. What is up with that? Big mine explosions. Right now, Javi losing his army again, attempting to break out. Meanwhile, over here, CC does go down to the pair of Goliaths. Engineering bay, next in the sights of Steamy's anti-air. This is looking very good for Steamy. Huh, super steamy in here. And Javi just GG's. He sees the push coming. He had just had a reset on his army. He says, enough's enough. That's it. Let's go to game 3. And this is the first game 3 of our day. And look at that. Steamy getting 0 effort Zealot Rush on the board. 1-1. We're going to a 3-game TVT series. Oh my goodness. There are people in comas in the hospital that don't last as long as 3 games of TVT. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. This one is going to be on Radion. Radion is our 3rd map this week. Alright. So Radion, a 4-player map. Down here in the bottom right, representing our build disorders, is the red Terran Javi. In the top left, representing the 0 effort Zealot Rush, we have our blue Terran Steamy. I think Javi listens to the CPL song on repeat all day, every day. And if he's not listening to it, like while he's like underwater swimming or something, he's singing it to himself. How are bingo cards looking, everybody? Wait, Javi, you don't listen to the music that you make? Also, Javi, I'm glad you're now watching these. There was actually a dispute whether or not it was you or AI. So I'm glad that you have come on the record saying that it was you that made the CPL song. I also want to point out Steamy with the supply depot blocking the back of the mineral line. We're gonna see if it pays off. Do you watch your own casts? I don't have that much free time. These things are long. I do poke through though, especially like I want to see how like the sound is, because for some freaking reason the mic doesn't work half the time when I start these things. And then I also don't always get to read the chat. Like sometimes the chat actually moves kind of fast. So I like to go back and read the chat. Because you guys are funny. Alright, we've got scouts heading out for both players. Barracks being built, refineries being constructed, SCVs doing mining, and a partridge in a pear tree. Both players are going to be scouting in the incorrect corners. Undoubtedly going to box scout into the other's bases. And it's going to be a good time. You can't compare me to Javi, though. Javi makes music. I make garbage online content. We are not the same. Yep, see, box scout. So neither one of them check in the middle, which I've become traumatized and always try to do now. Ooh, what is this? What is this? Where is he going? What are you doing? Factory? Starport? Academy? I want him to build something. Okay, there it is. Factory. And a factory in the main. Okay, so he is throwing a huge trickeroony out there. Javi's coming up here thinking, okay, everything's looking Gucci. You're just banking up some minerals for your expansion, just like me. I'll run away now. I'll come back later and check on that expansion. No. Steamy has a factory on the map. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Oh, but this barracks is gonna see it! What do you mean Javi's not an honorable Terran? Javi's playing honorable. Oh my gosh. With the barracks seeing this, this just isn't gonna get really anything done. Now, I think it was started first. No, it wasn't. Okay. But the Vulture's already out. So the Vulture's going to pop out. It's going to head straight up here. Vulture's being constructed now, but it's not going to be done in time. Oh, there's already a couple Vultures out. Alright, we'll see how Javi prioritizes this factory. Because now we're in a position where if he goes up here, he knows there's a factory in the main base. So he can't leave his base exposed to a Vulture. That could spell absolute disaster. So he may need to wait, get the bunker up, get a Marine in there. He's sending the SCV back because he needs to check on the expansion. He needs to know how much stuff can I expect to come my way. Doesn't quite get the SCV in there, though. Alright, so now we've got 3 Vultures. Now, it's still 2 factory back in Javi's base as well. So it's not like he's being wildly outproduced. But Steamy's definitely going more of a tank-heavy route this time. Kind of like what we saw from Javi last time. What's a BS scout? The SCV that went up and died? Or the barracks floating randomly right to where it needed to go? Yeah, the hero racks, for sure. That's one of those like, are you kidding me? And that was after the SCV came through. So like the SCV already knew where the opponent's base was. The Rax was just like on a joyride and got lucky. Taking a route so it doesn't get shot down by Marines. You know, because there's so many Marines in TPT. Alright, Javi definitely has the Vulture numbers, but we're starting to get tank production here for Steamy. Now, I actually worry for Steamy's Vulture army. He needs to keep this alive to protect this tank. Kind of like what we saw last game, right? the biggest difference here is that last game, Steamy went mines very fast and was able to get that nice loose contain that we were talking about. And that allowed his tanks to get in position, and that was really what dictated the pace of that game. This time, Javi's not doing that route. He's going more Goliath build. So the Goliaths are going to be really good at shredding these vultures if they come in. But they're not going to do so well against the tanks. So we'll see how the mine research goes, because Steamy just researched mines. Goliath's pretty good at walking through mines. Barracks sees the siege tanks. And here we go, we're getting a move out. Alright, so the mines have all been laid. Those are some laid mines. And see, like, Goliath Vulture, like, they're doing a pretty good job of just cleaning this organically. Not a big deal. What is this guy? Alright, he may just be hanging out. Checking for expansion timings. Maybe building another factory, who knows? This factory's still here. Hasn't been messed with at all. Oh, I say that. Here comes Javi. But there's a good amount of vultures here to defend it. We'll probably see this lift off and try to fly away. But maybe not. Looks like Javi's playing a little bit conservatively, bringing everything back home. Because like we were saying earlier, if you come over here and attack this, right? Like, look at my left hand while the right hand comes and smacks you. You need to be careful for these speed vultures to just come flying into your natural. And there's no tanks or anything on Javi's side, so needs to be careful. Alright, so we are sieging up. We're taking control of this intersection here for Steamy, and that's going to allow him to expand to this third base location. Good amount of tanks. This looks like Javi's had enough of this factory over here, so probably about time for it to take off. The Bald Disorders. I think this thing's probably as good as dead. Goliaths do so much damage to flying buildings. But here we go, right? While the army's over there taking care of the factory. Here come the Saja boys. In sync, rolling in hot. Checking that third base location. Maybe drop some mines. Maybe not. Oh, they don't even have mines. These guys have already dropped their payloads. Factory survived, by the way, I want to point out. So we may see Chapter 2 of the Factory Chronicles. Alright, now we have Javi mines going everywhere. Okay, we've been chasing vultures around for a bit. I think we're about to see an engagement here pretty soon. I want to see how everyone's doing on like upgrades and everything. So no upgrades yet for our blue Terran, Steamy. No upgrades yet for Javi, but +1 is just about to finish, and Siege is just about to finish, and Goliath range is just about to finish. So starting to tech pretty heavily. Javi going up to 5 factories. Steamy on 5. Building a 6, but you gotta remember the 5th one's over here. Just on fire in left field. So this is starting to shape up like a real TVT battle. These mines doing their job. We'll see if he throws down a CC anyway and then floats it after this gets cleared. Alright, Javi deliberately clearing some of these mines in front of the natural and starting to set up a little bit of contain. We're starting to see the map kind of take some shape here. Where Steamy's kind of up in the top left with a couple of random buildings and an SCV, and Javi taking his entirety of his corner down here in the bottom right while trying to establish a bit of a contain here. Now he doesn't have much tanks. There haven't been a whole lot of mines laid. Looks like he's doing that now, but you inch too close and these tanks are aggroing in these vultures. That was a good amount of vultures that went down. But vultures are free. They feel free. Third base being started here by Steamy. Was delayed a pretty heavy amount by those mines that were placed there. I think Javi actually got his down first. Yeah, I didn't see if this was built in base and then floated over or not. But it's there now. Oh, that's terrifying. Scary mines on top of tanks there. Not a whole lot that's going to detonate that, but still always a scary feeling. Alright, CC4 Steamy coming online. Both players really close in supply, close in worker count. Tank count is looking pretty good for Steamy at the moment. In the last game, when we saw this stalemate kind of start breaking out, we started seeing Javi dropping Wraiths out onto the field. Also, that volley was huge. I think we just lost 2 tanks, at least 1. Inching forward just little by little, keeping Javi off his front lawn. Look at this. Just sheep. Oh no, but he just got scanned. Is he going to move into it? We got to wait for, what, 11 seconds? Alright, this tank's just like, Leroy Jenkins. Alright, here we go. Okay, we're control grouping up. Oh, baby, is this going to be the big break? And here it goes! Vultures charging in. Javi's tanks just lighting them up. The tank siege for Steamy. Can he target down the tanks? He is. He's target firing the tanks. Now, all the vultures have been destroyed. Mines are getting placed. There's only a Goliath. A couple vultures show up to reinforce. All the chaff has been eliminated. And Steamy has successfully gained that much screen space. But in reality, he killed a bunch of Javi's army, doing a really good job of setting him back and slowly splitting the map. You can kind of see, like, this can sometimes happen where Terran will spread basically between these 2 naturals. And that's kind of like where the split, right? Like, this is the midline. You can see it's like much more narrow here. So anyway, we'll see how this ends up splitting. But I agree with you, Grast. It's time for BCs. Like, let's just skip to the BC part and see how the players do there. We're up at 7 factories for Steamy, 7 for Javi. Getting control tower. Ooh, getting an 8th factory. Love to see it. Look at this, 4 with machine shops. Holy tanks. He needs more gas. This is where the 4th base comes in handy. These dang mines. Preventing this SC from expanding. Not sure if Steamy feels safe enough to expand yet. But he does have tanks that are overwatching this area. I just heard a dropship. Here we go. Drops, baby. See, TVT is the most fun matchup. If you like tanks. Crazy Citizen! Thanks for raiding. Hello, raiders. You are watching CPL, the premier coach-pupil league for all things StarCraft Remastered. If you're not part of CPL, you should join it. And if you don't want to join it anyway. It's a great time. We're watching some of our tier 1 players face off. Trepid CYM, what's up? I recognize your name from somewhere. You an Artosis viewer as well? Alright, dropship comes down to the 6 o'clock and annihilates the CC that was there. So really good use of that dropship. Now meanwhile up in the 12 o'clock we do have Steamy starting to get his expansion underway. Now what I'm curious about from Steamy is here at the 12 o'clock is where the tip of the defense is for Steamy. And yeah, that's what I was worried about right there, right? He doesn't have the concentrated firepower to really defend this ramp. And that's where everything's been getting stacked from Javi. Now Javi may lose all these vultures, huge reinforcement coming here, but we'll see if there's another counterattack from another direction coming from Javi. But maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. Javi looks like he's getting in position, kind of splitting the map so that Steamy only has a quarter of the map available to him. Alrighty, Javi now has his own dropships. Looks like a counter drop of some sort occurred here. Was able to get rid of Steamy's army. I gotta like really zoom out here. Hopefully you guys can still see that okay. But you just have this enormous arc of tanks here from Javi. Okay, now Steamy reinforcing this little tip of his defense here. This is going to allow him to get an SCV. Oh no, don't walk in front of your tanks, SCV. Okay, he hugs the tanks and does get up in there. I would have been surprised, honestly, if he had just like drop shipped some over. Oh, big push here. I don't know if this is a good idea from Steamy, at least not in that direction. I wish he would have taken all this and just rode it across the wall right here or here, but going right down the middle like that, he took a lot of free hits. Okay, so now he's starting to roll up the side, and this is good. This is good for Steamy. Not sieging everything, sieging just enough, but he does leave his expansion exposed, so the decision to go that direction is a little odd to me. And now all these mines are going to start getting cleared, but we do have a bunch of vultures, some tanks going to be dropped to reinforce this 12 o'clock, and I think he's going to be safe at this point, as long as he doesn't lose everything to the immediate drops. We're going to have to get some mines here. We'll see how effective these are. Ooh, okay, there we go. All right. Looks like we're okay here at the 12 o'clock. But this whole position just got completely blasted. So we just spent the last 10 minutes watching this arc form. And now Steamy has advanced this much more and is creeping up on the map and securing his 4th base. Now, meanwhile, for Javi is kind of still working on the 6 o'clock position, fully under the observation of Steamy, but is also expanding up the right-hand side of the map. And I like that. I think that's a really good idea. We have Wraiths, we have dropships. Now, this combo is going to be absolutely devastating for Steamy. Oh, but he does bring a Goliath to the fight. I didn't even know he had Goliaths. I thought all these dropships were going to get mopped up. All right, that's going to buy Steamy enough time to get that turret down. And he should be okay. We'll see where these drops go. One thing about Radeon is you have these gaps, right, between the natural bases, and you can sneak dropships around just like we're seeing here. Oh no, you got to go somewhere with it though. All right, the tanks are all dropping here in the natural base. Unfortunately, loses one dropship that maybe didn't need to get lost. Big mine there. Good siege up here by Steamy. Oh man, that drop I felt like had a ton of potential, but unfortunately just didn't quite get it done for Javi. Steamy has to be feeling good after recovering from that, but I also want to point out Javi is killing it on supply. He's almost maxed out. Somehow he's got 81 SCVs, maybe a little bit too much, but he hasn't taken a whole lot of economic damage. 6 o'clock is now coming up. He's getting his 5th base online. Mined out of the main, mined out of the natural. Steamy's not quite yet, but getting there. And once these 2 bases mine out, I think we're going to see a spike in power for Javi, because he's establishing a contain in which there is no 5th base opportunity for Steamy. Okay, here comes a big push. This should be enough to punch a hole anywhere that Steamy wants to. Nice timely siege there, though, from Javi, and these tanks are really clumped up. Anything that gets within range, though, is evaporating right off the back. A lot of Goliaths going down. And if Steamy is taking note of the amount of Goliath kills going on here, may see a little bit of a transition to some air, or at least more dropship play. Now, already has a defense established here on this base. Javi was trying to sneak around the bulk of the force to try and knock out this this expansion. Don't think he's going to be successful, but he does still own this terrain. Now, there's no Goliaths here. We do have Wraiths, so I kind of want to see these start either doing some poke damage, maybe getting some dropships. Looks like he's going to be, yeah, it looks like he's going to start doing that now. Okay, good. That's going to be very efficient. Let's go ahead and check on upgrades. We're at 2-1 for Steamy, 3-1 for Javi. We're at 8 factories for Steamy, 4 add-ons. 8 for Javi, 4 add-ons. 1 starport. 1 starport. Armory's cooking. This is actually going to adjust here real quick. Yeah, we just got +2 armor. But Javi has most of the map control. Loosely. I don't know how good Steamy's like map awareness is of what's going on like here. He's aware of this. He's been fighting this. He's worried about this. This covers this entire avenue of approach. But I'm not sure what the next move is. It looks like it might just be dropships. We've entered that phase of the TVT. Whew. TVT. Another base for Javi. Javi doing a great job of expanding across the map. Everything's on fire. Alright, looks like Javi just scanned this. Still waiting for an opportunity to potentially knock this base out. If Javi were to knock this base out, this game would be effectively over. So I do agree with this being some seriously key terrain and obviously easier to probably hit than this one. This one would be a great target if there weren't 9 trillion turrets, already siege tanks up there, and if he could walk here. He could probably sneak some units here, but not in a bulk heavy enough to deal with these, so definitely a tough target. You can always just make BCs. Alright, big drop going on over here. Not getting a ton done. Oh, but he might be killing the science facility. Very cool move. One, just because you can, but also that might delay future upgrades. It might delay BCs. And you can see that it's being rebuilt right off the bat by Javi. Alright, here comes a little pusheroonie here from Steamy, losing a lot of tanks in that advance. Kind of wish he had led with the vultures, maybe. Oh, but an untimely unsiege there from Javi is going to see many of his tanks go down. And it looks like Steamy might be able to seal off this corridor, really split the map. Now, if he does that, this base up in the top right especially, but also this base, do become at risk of Steamy to start cooking units over there. Now, we're about to see a big drop. Is he going to drop on top of the tanks? He does! Oh, man, everything is coming out of this drop, though, and just liquefying. Not as successful as I imagine Javi was hoping for, and now Javi, for the first time in a while, is below Steamy in supply. Oh man, the dropship play. Looking like a StarCraft 2 game now. Getting some glides. Okay, so there was a point that I mentioned earlier that I want to bring attention to again. So earlier I was saying when this base mines out and this base mines out, Javi is going to be having a huge spike in power. And I think we're at that point now. I mean, there's only one guy mining here. No minerals here. 2 mining bases, right? To Javi's 1, 2, 3, almost 4. So double the economy for Javi. So even with, if this were even successful, Javi would still be economically ahead and able to produce at a faster rate than Steamy. So Steamy either needs to secure some expansions or like knock out some of Javi's expansions or get one big push in before Javi just runs away with it. And you can see now Javi's just banking tons of cash. So many minerals. Now Steamy's done a good job. He's sealed the top of the map off. Now what I'd like to see him do is peel off and knock this base out, especially because there's starports up there. There's additional production. And starports can make things that fly. And one of the things that can fly are BCs. All right, this is a sick engagement area here from Javi. Luckily for Steamy, whether knowingly or unknowingly, he's out of the range of these elevated tanks. So he's able to just steamroll right in here. Oh man, Javi coming up, trying to rescue this base. Wondering if it might be okay. This is a little bit of just theory. If it might be okay for him to just hit this. Maybe not, there's a ton of shit over there. But I'm just wondering, like, there's got to be a point, right? Where, like, if you have more bases than base trade. Alright, this drop looks way more effective than the previous drop, and Javi's going to save this expansion. Never even move the SCVs. The SCVs were just like, yeah, whatever. Javi will come to our rescue. And he did. Alright, big drop. Heading up here to the top right. This is what I was hoping to start seeing from Steamy. And look at this. This is going to hit all of that big battle cruiser production that is about to get started. Yeah, I'm going to have to lift all of these off. I imagine we're probably going to see these wraiths get canceled. We'll see. Might wait until the last minute. There's even one wraith here. Could shut this down over time. But this is really good from Steamy. Steamy... Kicked out my headphones. Anyway, Steamy was behind there and needed to make something happen. This is exactly what he needed to make happen. I think if, you know, if he was successful here and here, we'd have an even game. I think when he knocks this out, I think Javi's still ahead. But I mean, like, the CC's not dead. No, we're not making BCs, but we are upgrading the crap out of Wraiths. We've got +1. We've got more vehicle plating, more ship weapons coming underway. We've got a counter drop going over here to the bottom left. We also have Steamy trying to expand over here to the left. There's no way this survives. This is one of those, hey, I'm gonna mess with you in the top right. Don't look. Don't look over here. Great placement of these tanks. Might be able to shuttle some SCVs up down here. All of those starports die for Javi. And Javi ended up losing like 20 SCVs in all of this exchange and is still ahead on SCVs. The CC lands. This base will remain under Javi's control along with this one down here. Big push in the center of the map. This one might be a game decider. Steamy has had enough. Straight up blitzkrieging straight down the middle. The siege is coming just in time. It's going to start hitting these vultures, start hitting these Goliaths. The tanks aren't even sieging up. They're just moving. And I like that. He needs to gain as much ground as he can. Oh, but which direction is he going? All right, he's buying a lot of space. He's getting a lot of favorable trades here. About to get sandwiched, though. Steamy don't care. Steamy's just rolling. I like this tank that's just like, I got your rear. And he's just killing Goliaths as they go. Wow, this attack has been doing phenomenally well until whatever the hell that was that just happened. This drop came out with these 4 tanks and just killed all of it. Alright, so Steamy is now down some supply. Got it. But that was a really cool move. Now, this little island of supply isn't helping a ton unless we get some sort of economy from it. Now, this CC might just float its happy ass all the way down here. And then there's going to be a little skirmish, and then Steamy might actually secure this bottom left. But I think that's going to be really, really tough to keep. Meanwhile, we do have a drop going up to the top right, and I think that this is probably the play. We need to keep hitting the top right. I think Steamy needs to continue showing aggression on these 2 bases up here. Look at the range on that thing. Sometimes you'll see a siege tank shot, and you're just like, you can shoot that far? You sure? Alright, we got some Wraiths back out on the field. Money is not really the issue for these players. Right now it's just having enough to push into fortified positions. Armies are a little bit spread out. Trying to drop the right spots. Oh god, what are you guys clipping? Alright, getting some turrets. Not a single BCs. We are across the 30-minute mark and have not seen a BBC. Big battle cruiser. Now this base has mined out. We're on 1 mining base now for Steamy, and this might come into this might come down to just attrition. I mean, we're at 30 minutes in a TVT. It's always about attrition, but we're getting really close. I'd also really wish that this dropship was repaired a little bit more than just a marine shot from dying. Oh, we might see some drop-on-drop action. Okay. Javi saw the drop. Goliath's going to knock out one of the drop ships. Oh, no. Drop goes here, but here comes the counter drop. Counter drops always beat the first drop. Oh, man. Steamy just lost that entire block of army. And now Javi just has like this portable army floating around the map. He's got a secondary force moving up to secure the middle. I think Javi looking very, very good. Ever since we were at that point where he had 4 bases, for those 2 mining bases, it was really Javi's game. And if you look at the mineral bank right now, like Steamy just doesn't have the income. He's just got this. He's trying to get this up. If I can zoom in for you. Ugh. He's trying to get this going. But he can't defend it. He can't get up there. Yeah, you're right. APM around like my level. Players definitely feeling the game state. And also I would say, like, I don't know. Maybe at this point a lot of it's just like decisions. It's like, okay, where do I go? Where should I hit? Should I make battle cruisers? Should I upgrade my ship armor? It was Goliath, not even trying. Oh, they're cloaked. I thought he was just a lazy-ass Goliath. Alright, drop heading back up here. Try and knock this out. There are a few Goliaths up in the mix. Let's go ahead and look at this fight. This one is a pretty big deal, right? Like, if Javi wins this fight, which it looks like he will, and he keeps this army up here, like maybe sends the dropships back to get a different portable army, like with this base secure, he's in almost an unlosable state, in my opinion. Now, down here, looks like we might have an SCV drop. We do. We're transferring workers. And this is actually really, really big for Steamy. Steamy needed this to keep this game going, which is what we all wanted after 33 minutes of TVT. These Goliaths doing a piss-poor job of zoning out any drops. But they'll get them on the return trip. Alright, big SCV transfer here. I love late game nonsense. Look, this is just wild. Like, we just have a train of an entire control group of SCVs just running across the map, unescorted, just generally going that direction. This has been a banger of a match. Absolute banger. Completely mined out here. Okay. So Javi is looking to put the killer blow against Steamy right now. This bottom left, if it dies, Steamy's done. And Steamy needs to kill the top right. This reminds me of, like, you know those stupid slap boxing competitions? Not like actual boxing, but where they just stand at a table and they just hit each other. Like, they take turns. Like, that's what this feels like to me. It's like, all right, I'm going to hit you really hard in the top right. Pow! And then Javi, like, sees stars, puts his eyes back in his socket, and then, oh, I'm going to hit you in the bottom left. Pow! That's all that's going on here. Alright, this base is about gone for Steamy. He's got this one going on down here. I always forget also this, like, scorecard is here, so I forget how much screen you guys can see. So, yep, there it is. But we have another base going down for Javi. Now, the army supplies aren't really small. It's all about just, like, where you have them. And what I mean by that is, like, where it's all spread out, right? Like, if we took these tanks from this base that's just mining from a depleted refinery, married them all up with everything, you know, like, maybe we don't need to defend this place so heavily. Maybe just some anti-air. Maybe we don't need 4 tanks down here. I think the consolidation, if it were to happen for any player, even like to half the extent of their full army, they can knock the other one out. Yo, Yumcocks. What's up, man? I hear it, but I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Finally killing this barracks. There we go. No more factories being built for you, Javi. Alright, big engagement in the middle of the map. How much more can these players punch each other? Both banks have been pretty much exhausted. Like, Javi's been spending a ton of money, but he has the superior, what do you call it? Supply. 3-3 for both players. Javi continuing on upgrades, though, for his air. That's one thing that I don't think we've seen much of from Steamy. But he hasn't really been going air outside of dropships. It's just one slight advantage that may exist for Javi in addition to kind of the economy going on right now. Okay, so a couple ways to end this game for Javi. Kill this base. Yeah, that would do it. Or kill the production. Both sound fun. But I think this base is where he's got his eyes set. It's the easiest thing to do. He's got it contained. He's got it, you know, isolated from the rest of Steamy's army. And I think Steamy gets that. Javi's also building battle cruisers, baby. So we finally got there, ladies and gentlemen. 37 minutes, we have battle cruisers being built. Alright, Steamy trying to push down here to the bottom left to rescue his base, which is being bombarded here by this. These 3-3 siege tanks go blam. And Steamy throws in the GG. Absolute banger of a match. That was so much fun. This is why the Terran mirror match is the best mirror match, in my opinion. Like, it's just, it's wild. It's so positional, right? Like, ZVZ is like, both players are blindfolded, and they're both given machine guns, and you just, like, put them in a room, and you just see who can shoot the other person first. And then PvP, I don't even know PvP. PvP is just, like, if you think about Reavers, you just give each person, like, a hand grenade, and you play catch with it until it explodes on one person. But Terran is like playing chess. All right, let me fix this this scorecard. So Javi ends up taking it 2-1. Great game though. Great series. Build disorders, freaking doing wonders. Yumcox, I know you're in chat. You got to bring it back for us. You got to bring it back for us. Zero effort Zealot rushers. Let's go ahead and get into game number 1 on that. This is going to be the last series of the day. It's going to be a PVT. And let me go ahead and do the scorecard while you guys play with Tangia. All right, so we got Yum, Cax, Protoss, 0 wins. Got Twin, Set, Terran, 0 wins. And we're going to be on Neo, Sylphid. Cool, cool. Let's go! Let's go, Yumcocks! Yummy, yummy, yummy. In my tummy, tummy, tummy. What the hell is this yellow versus yellow bullshit? Aw, man. Escalade, tap the sign if you're still here. Alright, we have our pink Protoss, Yumcocks, representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush up here in the 12 o'clock position. In the bottom right, our black Terran twin set, representing the Build Disorders. Looking to be a good game. Thanks everyone for watching. Especially thank you to any raiders that showed up and you're still watching. It's a good time. And like I said, if you don't play in CPL, you should. It's for all levels. If you're a beginner, there's plenty of experienced players to show you the ropes, like Yumcox and Twin Set. And then there's like complete newbies like myself. It's a tier system, right? So tier 0 being the highest level, down to tier 4 being the least experienced. So even if you're brand new, there's opponents that are also brand new, and you can have some fair matches every week, and it's a great time, great community. And then also, if you haven't heard of StarCraft Underground, you should join that as well. It's a tournament series. It's got StarCraft Brood War and StarCraft 2. And we just started giving money. Yeah, that's right. We're in our first $50 tournament right now, and it's all from Prime subs from this channel. So if you have a Prime sub to give, please consider supporting this channel, because 100% of all the funds go straight to those tournaments. And we've only done one, so we're saving up for a second. And Escalade, I don't know if you've contributed a quarter, maybe. I must admit, when I got the payout, it didn't quite add up and make sense, so maybe you dropped some cash where I didn't see. And yeah, Navain, you're in that tournament, and you got first blood. He has won his first series, but we're going to cast them all. It's going to be a great time. Anyway, looking at the game here, Neil Sylphid, we do have the probe coming in, being annoying. Ooh, and we have the main being walled off here from Twinset. A little bit of a decision. We'll see if this goes into some sort of 2-factory play. We'll have to wait until that first factory gets dropped until we really make that determination. We should see it getting dropped here any moment. Maybe this guy. Well, it looks like he's a little behind on his gas. And right. Meow. Okay. Now we'll see if he pulls off gas. He might anyway, even if he doesn't intend to expand, just because the probe's here. But it looks like he's just ripping it. All right, so we're probably going to see some sort of 2-gate play. That's the reason for the wall off. Try to keep additional scouting information out. And also keep the main safe because he doesn't intend to expand too early. Now we do have single gateway, cybernetics core. We have range on the way. Gas is continuing to be mined. We're going to be seeing some Dragoons coming out here. They're gooning all over the place. What? Looking at the chat. Every now and then I gotta just double check and make sure the feet pick discussion doesn't get too weird. All right, so we are in fact seeing a double factory. And the Dragoon's going to knock out the SCV before I saw the second gate, but probably to be expected. And we'll likely see an expansion coming up here. Oh, he cancels the gateway. Interesting. Okay, I'm no expert on anything about anything, but I kind of thought against double gate, or double factory, you might want to go into like 3 gates. So the one gateway against double fact actually concerns me a little bit for our Protoss hero here. We'll have to see how it pans out. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. 4 Marines versus a Goon. 4 Marines should be able to knock that out. Or at least get it to run away on those big, thick legs. Look at that thing. Freaking cruising. He didn't cancel range. Range is still going. Robo facility. Rebuilding the second gateway. Okay. I want to see what this shapes out to be. I kind of think he's going to go Observer. I'd be kind of surprised if he went Reaver. But 2-gate Observer, if he's concerned about mines. But he already sees the tank. He sees these Marines. I don't think he's going to stop. Okay, he pauses for a second. He's got another tank almost done, a third on the way. Okay, so he's going to do 3 tanks, follow up with Vultures. Does he have speed? Yeah, he's got speed and mines researching right now. Okay, yeah. This is just a straight up normal standard 2-fact. Here we go. Okay, so 3 tanks, 4 Marines. Ooh. Picks off that Goon right off the bat. Oh my gosh, this might just be lethal. Alright, there's the 3rd gateway now. The Robo facility, yeah, he was going Observers, which makes sense, right? It's a standard build. But I don't think the canceling of that initial gateway was the response. If Yumcox had picked up on the two fact. Oh, stream is muted? Oh. I don't know who to believe. I don't know who to believe. Okay. Ask, don't screw with me like that, man. I make one newscast about you. And look at that, we missed the epic conclusion. The victory for Twinset. That was so well deserved. Damn it, Esk. So, Esk is my life coach, right? So, like, I have to listen to him. And if you don't have a life coach, don't hire Esk. All right, Twinset takes the first map in this series. You want me to scroll back and show it again? I kind of want to. Let's go back. Let's go back and watch the epic conclusion. Because this was just really well done. And I know it's really satisfying. And I apologize, Yumcox, for having to relive it if you were paying attention. But the 3 tanks, the Marines, the Vultures showing up just on time behind it. The speed just now going to kick in. The mines are going to be available to start sealing off the entrance to the natural, right? And any reinforcements from the main. Like, this is just a very well executed. See, mines getting dropped right there, taking shots from the Dragoons that allow everything else to close distance. Let's keep an eye on these mines. Let's keep an eye on them. Let's keep it. Oh, kaboom! Goon juice and marine blood. And yeah, once you control this with tanks, it's just game over. So, apologize for replaying that for you, Yumcox, but like, that was really that was a well-deserved victory for Twinset. It's fun to see that on stream. So, GG. All right, cool. So Twinset took map number 1. Let's go ahead and go into game number 2. This is going to be yummy, yummy, yummy Cox up against Twinset on Eclipse. All right, here we go. All right, did you guys fix it for this round? Absolutely not. All right, we're gonna have to take a vote. Who wants to watch it in yellow versus yellow? Who wants to watch it blue-gray versus pink? Let's do pink. So Yumcox in the top right, our pink Protoss player, representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush. Now in the bottom left, we have our blue-gray, the best colors, because it's the most shark-like, obviously, from Twinset, who represents the Build Disorders. You know what, Escalade? God dang it. As soon as I said it, I didn't want to say it afterwards, but I thought, I hope no one clips this moment. But you did. You clipped it. So thanks for that. Thank you for that, Escalade. For that, I will probably have another newscast of you. Always here for you, man. Thanks, life coach. All right. Anyway, Terran, doing Terran things. Building a supply depot at the ramp. Pylon in the main. Now, I'm curious if we'll see like a Zealot opener here, or if we'll see another 2-fact from Twinset. Eclipse brings out the best in people. In that way, I mean, Eclipse brings out a lot of hyper-aggressive / cheesy type tendencies. Assimilator going down, so it looks like we might see more of the same for our Protoss player. Binary being built. SCV trying to keep this probe out. Does a fine job. Dosey does his partner right into the main base. Probe's going to just peek around and be annoying for a bit. Cybernetics core. Excuse me. Alright, so walling off the main again. An indicator of potential 2-fact. I wouldn't be shocked if he did it again. It's not a bad map from what I understand. It's also one of those situations of like, don't fix it if it's not broke, which I know I say a lot on this stream. But it's kind of true, right? Like, it's a best of 3. It works once, it might work again. Alright, so we have the first factory going down, and we still have gas. So first indicator, second indicator. If it looks like a duck, tastes like a duck, it might be a 2-factory. Something like that. Now, let's see if the reaction has changed. If Yumcox expands, the answer would be no. If he builds another gateway, then the answer might be yes. I think. I don't know if that's actually the correct response. That's just what I would expect to be the response. Gateway. The answer is yes. Oh man, Yumcox. A true pupil of the StarCrafts. Okay, really not much exciting happening here. We're going to see the same old 2-fact, likely 3-tank push again. SEV's coming home. But what's going to make everything different is the production coming out of this. Still going for the robotics facility. Likely to still go observer if I were to bet. But he's going to be moving out with these early 3 Dragoons. And them coming out all at once might be able to pick off some of these Marines. If he's really lucky, get a tank. But up here on the high ground, I'm not thinking that that's going to be the case. We have Vulture Speed. We'll see Vulture Mines coming out here pretty soon. Probably when Speed's about a third done. When he gets that 100 gas. Boom. Mines. Yeah. Winset has this 2-fact down. 4th Dragoon. 5th Dragoon. Observatory. Okay. So I like that Yumcox has decided to go 2-gate. Now I think a lot of this is going to come down to control. Now we have 3 tanks, 4 Marines. You know that there's 2 Vultures coming behind this. And we lose 1 goon right off the bat. That was the scouting goon. That was the teaser goon. And I don't know how many you need to defend this, but having the high ground is actually a really big deal here for our Protoss player. Terran recognizes that, really fights for some space, but now with all the Marines gone, might be able to knock out a couple of these tanks. This is huge for Yumcox. Now 2v2, the Dragoons don't stand a chance, right? But 3v2, oh, just maybe. Now the Vultures do show up. Now they have mines available, so we got to be extra careful for Yumcox. Honestly, I wish Yumcox would just go home. And can start consolidating his Dragoons. But maybe delaying and fighting for time here is what matters most. Ooh, big mine hit. Oh, the mines! Look what they've done to my boy. Probe effectively blocking the Dragoons. We've all been there. Did cancel the Nexus, though. So does have some funds to play with up in the main base. What is he using them for? Goons. Okay, we have a loose contain. A nice loose contain. But you know what else we've got? Oh shit, we got siege. Oh, but he's gonna get him. Mine drag for the win. Big mine connection there, but it does go in the favor of Yumcox, and he defends it beautifully. Now there's more Terran coming, right? We got an SCV, we got a couple of Vultures. Oh, but that block from the probe! The hero probe saving the day ends up protecting that main base from that Vulture. That was actually huge. Yumcox is playing this beautifully. That was absolutely sick. And guess what? He's got a, whatever you call this, the thing that, the picker-upper. The, fuck, what's it called? Shuttle. And he's got a Reaver on the way. About to slap back. I like this. He has his expansion up. Not up, but started. He's got an observer. Mines no longer matter. Can keep these nice and clear. And now he can play a normal PvT. He can get his Reaver. He can go across the map. He can kill like 30 SCVs with 1 Scarab. And then he can like go to the beach, hit on some chicks, come back to the game, do it again with another Reaver. The way Protoss is meant to be played. Alright, Observer's going to go check out the defenses here. Now, there is some good zoning turrets. We're still on 2 factories. We're getting our expansion up. Not much from an army here. Not much of an army at home. And you know, Yumcox might be identifying that. No longer, but did only see 3 tanks and 2 vultures. Yumcox should be feeling very safe right now. Getting a couple zealots. They're going to go tag along with the Reaver. Probes are raving here in between all these pylons. I don't know what the heck's going on here. They're just wigging out hard. They do might find their way through. It's going to start mining in earnest down here. A lot of tanks being produced, though. Gosh, I just want to see the Reaver. You gotta let him fly. Here we go. Reaver time, baby. That's what we're here for. Twin set's fine. Yeah, twin set's fine. What I would say is, like, twin set is, like, I would say the game's even right now. You just hope for more damage than twin set got with that 2-fact. Like, it wasn't like a futile 2-fact, it just didn't really pay off. Thanks, Escalade. Soundboard updated. That's good. Does that mean you can't hear me now? Alright. The turrets are going to be zoning out this shuttle pretty well. Vulture's coming to start dropping some mines. We'll see if he starts dropping some mines in his base. No, but he does reposition his tanks to at least be available to cover the mineral lines. I don't think this Reaver's going to get a lot done. So camping out front with it, I don't mind. Because if... Oh my gosh, look how juicy this is. If this was a shuttle with 2 Reavers in it... Ooh. I feel like 3 tanks and a volley. Going up and getting his 3rd base. Yumcox is feeling pretty good. Shuttle now has speed, so it can zip, zag, dodge, dip, dive. And there's not much for internal turrets. There's this one down here. But if he can get past these zoning turrets, Yumcox still has an opportunity to get some stuff done, I think. But I don't know if it's worth the risk. Probably not worth it. Just get the 3rd base up. Keep macroing. We're up to 4 gateways right now. This is like the party spot for the probes. The probes show up and they just all have to freaking get jiggy with it. Alright. Vultures sneaking around. Couple wrong turns. The shuttle ends up going home. Probably a good idea. Whole bunch of tanks out here. Okay. Now, real soon, it looks like we're going to be seeing some Goliaths coming out from our Terran player, and also we do have our like factory explosion. So going up to 6 factories. Tanks do get some shots. Oh my gosh, look how clumped that is. Oh no! Where was the Scarab? That would have been enormous. Huge. Biggest Scarab ever. A Scarab would have brought tears to my eyes. Alright, we're bringing in the Spider Boys. Looks like Yumcox feeling ready to put the stranglehold here on Twin Set. Oh man, come on, mines. Alright, it's getting a little congested in here. And that makes me really want to see something with splash damage. Oh my gosh. This is like the school pickup line. If any of you guys have kids, you know what I'm talking about. If you go and pick up your kids from school ever, holy cow. That's what it looks like. It's like the 8th circle of hell, actually, the school pickup line. Alright. Starting to amass quite a bit of a force here. Still on 1 Reaver. I don't know why, I just wish that there was 2. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I just feel like 2 is better than 1. We do have a Stargate down. We have Templar Tech. We have a sweet scan going down on top of that. And we are up to 8 gateways. Now, still at 0-0 on upgrades for Terran. We are at 1-0. And we have Zealot legs being researched as well. Now, still on 3 bases. I wouldn't be shocked if Yumcox went for a 4th. He's got a lot of cash. And I'm pretty sure around like the 11-ish minute mark, I think that's the 4th base timing for Protoss generally. But he's been dumping a good amount of attention into getting an army positioned and out here. And oh my gosh, this is just so many tanks. We need to lob in some Scarabs or drop some Zealots. But there's Goliath support as well. This looks actually pretty dang scary. If we're not careful, Protoss can lose a lot. Gotta keep making Scarabs. We do have 4 kills on this Reaver already. Decides to scoop it up. Scoop, scoop. And we're going to +2/+1. Okay, so now there's another opportunity that we're waiting for our Protoss player, and that is for Arbiters to show up. Now we gotta be careful about this shuttle. It's very close to dying. We have Goliaths out on the field, and they are hunting for it. Twinset doing everything he can to just inch out little by little. Now, unfortunately, the Protoss army is a little bit staggered, and they were on hold positions, so not really getting the full use of the Zealots there. The high ground is helping here quite a bit. The shuttle is just about to go down. It's gone. Okay, so the Reaver's on its own, alone, unafraid, Scarabless, and this is a shit ton of tanks. So many tanks. Science vessel about to hit the battlefield, undoubtedly because the scans showed that Arbiters were about to be starting to be produced. And the one good thing that's happening here for Yumcox, wow, that Reaver got destroyed, is Yumcox is doing a really good job of forcing Twinset to siege repeatedly. Because this would be really scary to actually just be moving across the map into your base. But every time you get them to siege like that, you can buy yourself precious seconds, start producing like a madman. Honestly, I'm starting to get a little worried for Yumcox, though. I wish he had, like, 6 more gateways. Four more gateways. This mine. Let's keep an eye on this mine. Yeah, big mine explosion there. No goon juice, but still a lot of damage. Okay, picking off a good amount of tanks. Really forcing the Terran to bleed a lot of units. Not getting any of this ground for free. But it's still a really scary push. Okay, now we have some of the Zealots getting up on top of the tanks. This is good. This is the opportunity for Yumcox to turn this fight around. We're on Yumcox's side of the map. And a lot of these tanks are just getting schwacked. Science Vessel doesn't have much energy to work with. Might be able to throw down an EMP if they have it. Or a D-Matrix. Okay, now we've got Arbiters. Now the Science Vessel is here. He's going to be able to see everything, but it does allow the Zealots to really close the distance. And them on top of these tanks, they're just getting shredded. There's no vultures here to help them out. Alright, there's the D-Matrix. Science Vessel goes down, and Yumcox is just ramming it straight into Twinset right now. Ooh, man, mines. Ugh, gross. All the Protoss units staying strategically outside of cloak range. Okay, scanner goes down. Ooh, big mine there, but it does kill that tank. We've got one tank with a very scientific D-web looking thing. That's about it. Both armies effectively reset it. Both players below 100 supply. Where's the expansions? I want to see Protoss expanding. It looks like we might be exploring up here to the top left to do so. Terran, able to get their third base up. And start getting a little bit scary. We're starting to see the map get flooded with vultures. But we also see... Oh no! Big probe transfer! Oh! Open fire! Oh my gosh. That reminds me of like a Revolutionary War or Civil War film where the muskets just line up and they're just like, they get really close because you can't hit shit with those things. They're just like, alright, let's get really close. Let's point them at each other and just Light them up. Alright. Expansion being attempted, but it is being contested. Terran Jam blasting. TVP playing. It's a good day, y'all. It's a good day. Prime subs flowing. Alright, Vulture dies. Big SCV pull, or transfer rather. Okay. I think we're a little even. Yo, Hat Trick Pie. And Hat Trick P? Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're a part of CPL. And if you're not, you should be. Ooh, big collision of armies about to happen here over the 4th base of the Protoss player. And I think Protoss has the upper hand here. We also have stasis that's been researched, so keep that in mind. A big stasis here could spell disaster for our Terran player. But we might be waiting until Protoss goes on the offense. I didn't see Recall get researched, so I don't know where this Arbiter's tearing off to. A lot of mines detonating on these Zealots, softening them up a good amount here, but they do make it up. Okay, big volley of siege tanks knocks them out. Vulture's running up. Arbiter staying out of range. Not the biggest stasis, not the stasis we were hoping for. Definitely not. But you know, one thing I like about that stasis, like it only hit one tank, but it hit the back tank. It's almost annoying, I bet, as a Protoss player when you hit the stasis and it stasises off all the front tanks, and then none of your Zealots can hit anything. Like they have to run around these obstacles that you generated for yourself. It usually still pays off because, you know, Protoss, but I actually kind of liked that for that reason. Alright, big mine drag there. Almost kills all of the Vultures and Goliaths that were defending. Twinset doing everything he can to protect this 3rd base of his. Big stasis there. Oh my gosh! Oh no, I don't think that's the one that casted stasis. There was a conversation earlier. People were asking, can you stasis your own Arbiter? Well, you can stasis one of your Arbiters, but I don't know if it can stasis itself. Very interesting. I'm curious if this is still providing cloak. I don't think so. No, it's not. Okay, now we know. Very cool. I don't remember what Discord server that was in that was being talked about, but that was definitely a conversation literally happening today. And right now, Protoss is doing a great job of just completely sealing off this reinforcement and is going to be knocking out this 4th base. I hear a crazy mine. Where is it? Missed it. Mine explosions detonating everywhere. Templar charging down the field. This might even up the series. I don't think Twinset has anything required to keep this out. Oh, the storms! Oh my gosh. 20-minute Protoss. I think a 20-minute Protoss is a weapon of mass destruction. You heard it here first. I'm going to declare it as so. Yumcock showing that he is indeed Super Gosu. Look at these storms. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, he's still got storms in the bank. Well, not anymore. Worth it. Yeah, I think this game is definitely Yumcock's game. See, like, for example, I've seen people, like, stasis this, right? And then, like, all of a sudden you're stuck. Like, I can't get by. So instead, throws in the towel. GG. Hey, you know what? You know what? We did this to Yumcocks, too. Let's do it a little bit for Twinset, right? Yumcocks had to relive the trauma of that 2-fact ending. You know, let's make sure we don't miss anything here for Twinset. You know, he runs down here. Got storm galore. CC actually survives. Storms. Phenomenal game. This is quite the series. Absolute banger, as my mom always said. Anyone have good sayings from their parents? All right, let's go into the last game of this series and the last game of today's stream. We'll do the anthem. We'll do a raid. I'll beg you for more Prime subs because apparently I like hat in my hands. Like, give me money so I can give money to good StarCraft players, and then we'll be on our merry way. Then I'll get some work done. All right, this last game on the last map for today, PvP. It's gonna be on Radeon between Yumcox and Twinset. Oh my gosh, what is this, blue v blue or yellow v yellow? I hate everything. All right, up here in the top right, in our darker of the two blues, we have Twinset, our player who likes to double down. 2 is better than 1, he always says, representing the build disorders. Up here in the top left, we have in the lighter blue color, kind of the baby blue, Yumcox as our baby blue Protoss, representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush. They are playing on Radeon, 4-player map. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Baby blue shark, do. Oh man, this has been a longer stream today, I think. Any of this stuff have a timer? Oh, there it is. 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's a long time. Blue is a great show. Of the shows I've been fortunate enough to watch with my children, Bluey probably takes the cake. It's one of the better ones. Oh yeah, that's a probe. Look at him probing. Alright, Yumcox probing Twinset. Look at this. Okay, fun fact. There are pictures on how to wall off in these bases, specifically for Terran. Barracks, depot. Now, he may not actually be trying to wall. This could just be the initial Sim City for the Zealot tight, like, Marine jump back and forth. But I have found that being closer to your mineral line is more helpful. But to be fair, I suck at StarCraft, and Twinset is actually pretty good. So I'll probably learn from him on this. We'll see. Supply depot going down. Kick the SCVs out to the right. Good. Marine, a little lost in the sauce, looking for that probe behind the mineral line. Gonna go get it. Okay, so Twinset sending his SCV across as well. It's gonna be going up into the top left to our baby blue Yumcox. No range as of yet. There's range now. And we are going into goons. So, not going into a Zealot opener. Sounds like the probe died, but I kind of missed it. And the SCV is still alive and kicking. Now, it looks like we're doing a little bit of a different build here from Twinset. Twinset not thinking that 2-gate's going to work after the last match that was just played. Did I say 2-gate? I meant 2-fact. Baby Blue Dragoon knocks out SCV. Alright, looks like he's just going to be expanding. Did he take off gas? Kinda. By kinda, I mean nope. This is going to take a little bit longer than normal. But he is going to have a little bit of extra gas if he wants to get an extra factory up very quickly. Alright, machine shop down after the first vulture. We have an expansion from our Protoss player. Things are looking good. Ooh, does sneak the vulture out. Is it going to get around this other Dragoon? Nice movement here from Twinset. expecting the second Dragoon. Does take the long way around. Now, Yumcock's not seeing it, is going to send this Goon back because it needs to protect the main base from this Vulture getting in. Now, he's got another one about to pop, but definitely more comfortable having it back at home. Okay, we've got 2 Goons at the front, 3 Marines in a bunker, tanks being made, SCVs being pulled, eBay going down. Well, if this isn't the setup for a 45-minute game, I don't know what is. Three Marines in a bunker. Yeah, I feel like I just rattled off like several phrases that could all be used as like movie names. Old clips from internet history. I was watching some Cyan StarCraft last night, and that was a big point of discussion on his stream was like old horrific videos from the internet. Memories. Siege mode just about finished. We do have 2 tanks here. We'll see if he still tries to do some sort of push. Maybe an opportunity once he gets this third tank up. He has not really been prioritizing any type of Vulture production. Looks like he's going to get a couple turrets down as well. Probably see one go here. Yeah, okay, there already is one there. And another one here. Now, this might be in reaction to last game. Well, he did it last game as well, but also reinforced from last game the sighting of the Reaver. Now, Yumcock's only made 1 Reaver, but did try to sneak in and tried to get some damage with it. Dragoons are going to clear out whatever this was over here. I think it was that super hurt Vulture. And so, going to be taking a third base right here at the 6:30 mark. Just right on time for Protoss. Couple tanks up top. Keeping visibility of this area, pushing these Goons back. You can see one's already pretty damaged. Observer heading over. Alright, both players playing very standard in their last game of their series. Second factory, second gas. No armory yet. Still waiting for the armory. That generally show up here soon. There's the armory now, okay. Couple more gateways. Citadel. Yeah, I'd like to see some BCs as well. Would not like to see carriers. Carriers are stupid, and I don't respect them. Yeah, both players really not given a whole lot to talk about. We do have a third factory going down, fourth factory going down. Likely see a fifth here. A lot of times you'll see all 3 of those thrown down at the same time. No +1 being researched as of yet. There's a Stargate. You know it'd be really cool. I think this is going to be Arbiters as well. He's already got the Templar tech being made. We saw Arbiters last game, used to great effect. I think that might be where Yumcox is comfortable. And I forgot what I was going to say. But I was going to say... Yep, totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, what would be cool is if we saw the Corsair play again, with all the D-webs that we saw from Sigrast. That was sick. We could see some DTs. I haven't seen any come out. I don't think we've seen Yumcox make a DT yet. Yeah, Dazzle, you did. That was actually really, really cool series. I recommend once this stream is over, go back and watch some of it. There was some really fun Protoss earlier on. Yeah, see, there's the Arbiter Tribunal. Okay, so we're going to see more Arbiters. See if he goes Stasis or if he tries to get a fancy recall off. Because I think there is opportunity to get some recalls in how Twinset plays. He keeps his tanks very consolidated. But I might just be misreading that. I mean, obviously this is just a rally. Alright, Cox starting to send his army out here towards the front of the natural. Okay, cool. Alright, so we got Zealot legs. That'll be very helpful when these tanks finally push out. Right now we've got +1 weapons for Terran being researched, and also mines and speed. So I don't think Twinset's gonna go anywhere. Like, he's gonna try to push out because this is becoming, you know, the school pickup line. Yo, Herman, thanks! Appreciate the raid, man. Hopefully you had a really great stream. We're casting some CPL matches right now, Tier 1. This is the very last match of the day. And so anyone that's raiding along with Erdman, if you're not a part of CPL, you should definitely join. And if you're not a part of StarCraft Underground, you should join that too. Flexible tournaments. Always a bracket to join. We're doing our first $50 tournament right now. And all money for this channel, all Prime subs, goes straight into that bucket. 100% of the money. Alright, so we do have a move out here from Twinset. I don't actually like this for Twinset. I mean, this is a lot of tanks. But right now he is in a position where he can get surrounded. There's not a whole lot of Zealots with this force. If there were, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But he's also not sieging at all. So this actually looks a little bit scary for our Terran player. Protoss getting a nice round, losing a lot of these tanks. Finally does siege a few of them. Some more Zealots are coming to play. He might be able to fend this off for the time being, but he's taking a lot of damage from the Protoss player. Oh man, okay, so Twinset ends up holding off Cox, but not without a huge cost. The entire tank supply is gone. His entire army supply is gone. Twinset is down to 66 supply, 41 of which is SCVs. He is not going to be able to buy that space, this intersection, that he needed to get this third base up online. That was absolutely enormous. That was a very favorable trade for Cox, in my opinion, especially with the production that's on deck. He has an Arbiter about to come out. Oh, he already has one. Shit, I missed that. And that's going to inspire the science facility and getting the production of science vessels for our Terran player. Okay, so Twinset has not had an opportunity to really be on the map much this game. So he was able to sneak out some vultures. He's going to start checking these expansions, seeing what level of expansion, like how many expansions Cox has. I think he might just, he's going to just barely catch this probe. Placing some mines, he'll end up sniping this probe, and he'll eventually catch on that this third has been taken, but I feel like that's a given at this point in the game. At this point in the game, you know, Cox might be thinking about taking his fourth. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was maybe one of the fourth locations that he was looking to grab. Alright, so more Zealots and Dragoons heading to the front line. How are we doing on tank production? So we have a few more popping out. We do have 3 add-ons on the 5 factories. Right now, this is a pretty formidable force, and we see Recall being researched. So EMP being researched for our Terran, Recall being researched for our Protoss. Last game, we saw a lot of Stasises being dropped by Cox. This game, I'm hoping for that big Recall, because like I was saying, Twinset tends, based on last game, to have enormous blocks of tanks. And so if he puts an enormous block of tanks out here, and we get on top of the production as the Protoss player, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot. So it looks like Yumcox is actually fighting for this position down here. Doesn't have an observer, might use these Dragoons to just try to clear some of these mines. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We have another Arbiter showing up, and a lot more Zealots. Okay. Kind of hit a little bit of a lull. Both players just reconstituting their armies. You can see that tank count is starting to really spike up again. 3 add-ons really adding to the production power here for our Terran player. Up to 6 factories, science facility, getting some more turrets. And we do have this fight going on down here in the bottom left. So Yumcox is taking this expansion, looking to expand up into the main afterwards. How are we doing on upgrades? We're at 0-0 for our Protoss, and we're at 1-0 for our Terran with no additional upgrades being made. We've got Storm being researched, which is about where the last game ended. So the last game ended after the Arbiter push came, all the stasises went down, and then the Storms just showed up at the very final minute of the game and did enormous damage on Eclipse. A lot of those tanks that were rushing to save the third base were just getting caught in those storms and getting annihilated. Let's see how that plays out here. We don't see any Templar in production as of yet. We have a lot of Arbiters. 3 Arbiters on the field. Expansion looks pretty secure. Is this going to be the sneaky one? Oh, baby. Now, where's the science vessels? Okay, we have added a couple more turrets. Science vessel's a little out of position. We know the EMP exists. And it looks like Twinset's trying to get his eyes set on taking a third, which he desperately needs at this point. Now, the science facility is going to be able to spot this Arbiter, but what's the reaction? The reaction would have to be the science vessel. We'll see how quick Twinset is on getting the science vessel in place. Ooh, and I like this move. Okay, so this Zealot is running through here to clear any mines. Any mines that may be providing vision. He's also going to see the science facility and the vultures there, and that's gonna prompt him to bring this Arbiter back. That was a really subtle thing that he just did that I really liked. A little bit more poking and prodding with some Zealots. We might see the Arbiter try for a different location. Oh, it looks like he's going full frontal assault. A lot of these tanks, all the tanks are unsieged. The Mine Drags doing tons of damage here. Good stasis. Maybe not the greatest one that he could have hoped for, but definitely taking a few tanks out of the fight. Another big stasis takes 3 more sieged tanks out of the fight. The science vessels are here to provide vision. You can see the supply tanking for Twinset right now, down to 93. The Zealots have made it all the way into about the natural base. And now these Dragoons might be able to just sit here and wait until these tanks unsiege. Now, we do have some high ground siege tanks that are going to prevent them from sitting here for too long, so these may have the opportunity to keep surviving here. But again, that was a really good trade, and Yumcox is sitting on a whole pile of money to reconstitute this army. Meanwhile, Twinset, he's starting to run dry, right? The things are getting a little bit low back at home. And he's stuck in this corner. Never feels good. Now, he is getting this third base up, but this is definitely a, hey, don't look over here. Nothing's happening. Don't worry about me. He must have just snuck that SCV over there in the chaos of that fight, too. And he's going to try to seal this off so that he can protect it. Wow. Okay, so we have 2 Arbiters here. So one of them may have died earlier. I didn't quite see that go down. We do have the expansions continuing to get established here for our Protoss player. And you can see we're just on a gajillion gateways. Right, 10 gateways. It's pumping out units. And Twinset needs to keep this base at all costs. Really needs to prioritize solidifying the defense here. Going to take out that mine, potential expansion location, but also a potential Arbiter route. We don't want visibility for the Terran player. Okay, huge SCV transfer going on here. 2 turrets, Science Vessel that can EMP, and I think this is the first time that our Protoss players saw this expansion. So this all kind of went down after that big fight. Meanwhile, Protoss was over here trying to get all this established. Here come the storms, though. Energy is ticking up on these High Templar. Oh, but they're going to get sniped by our Terran player. Both the High Templar get knocked out. Here comes the full frontal assault again. This time, things are going a little bit better for Twin Set. Now, having to use some scans. Science Vessel getting stasis. Huge stasis there, actually. That was, what, 4 tanks in a Science Vessel? So the detection is not that great. A second Science Vessel shows up. And everything that's not an Ice Cube is just getting completely annihilated. Now, he needs to keep this base alive. What can he bring to bear? He's got a couple tanks up here on the high ground. They're going to do a lot of work. You can see the goon juice just pooling up outside this third base. But can the Protoss jump on this? The SCVs are being pulled. We got warrior SCVs, the boys, coming to do their work, and they are doing exactly what they need to do to protect this one siege tank, which may be able to finish this off. We just need the rest of them to wake up, to thaw out. Ah, the last siege tank goes down, but these ones do wake up. Unfortunately, with a Zealot on top of it, which doesn't bode well. But it looks like this third base is going to survive for Twin Set, keeping him in the game. Now, he's down at 89 supply. Not a good feeling for our Terran player, especially when the Protoss is on 5 bases. Alright, so he goes back to mining. Goes back to just pumping out tanks. How we doing? We're mined out in the main. We're mined out in the natural. This is all that Twin Set has left. Meanwhile, for Protoss, we still have a natural. We have a 3rd, 4th, 5th. 4 gateways here. A lot here. But all the Arbiters were knocked out. I think all the Arbiters have died. We've now transitioned to Storm. Storm is now going to be the tool that's going to be used most in this next push, I think. We have another Arbiter being generated back home, warped in. Holy dang! This is why they call him Yumcocks, ladies and gentlemen. Wow! That Zealot just cleared like 10 mines. Straight up true G house over here. Okay, starting to get a little bit of a supply depot wall. Needs to seal this off. The money is just not looking great. Still trying to break 100 supply here. Our Terran player is getting some scans out, seeing how bad the situation is. I like this defensive setup. Good mine spread. Good amount of tanks. We have missile turrets, which you can't stasis, right? So this will be helpful if we were to expect Arbiters again. Ooh, here comes a big EMP, I think. Maybe? Maybe not. Okay, here comes the push. Here comes the push. The tanks open up. The mines, they're popping out of the ground. They're hitting these Zealots. They're softening them up. Not a whole lot of Vulture support here, though. Once the Zealots get on top here, big EMP, but it misses the High Templar, and the storm goes off. Oh my gosh, this might be it for our Terran player. Protoss is just going straight through the storm. Absolute beauty. Oh my gosh, and a secondary one to finish them off. This one does end up surviving. These 2 tanks up on the top of the hill doing work. 5 kills each. Just raining death on these Dragoons down below. Another storm on the SCVs over here, getting a huge amount of kills. 13 kills on this High Templar. And this base might be as good as dead. That might be it. 8 kills. 7 kills. Somehow this base still stands. Everything is dead, with the exception of like a few High Templar and Dragoons. Even on the Terran side, there's like 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks and a Vulture. That's it. I mean, this is, yeah, this is pretty much GG. I just want to see the storms. I want to see the storms. Oh, we're using storms on the tank. Okay, fair. Using storms on the Vulture and the mines. Fair. Oh my gosh, how is this being cleaned up? And now look, there's no Protoss on this side of the map except for this guy. This one's Zealot. The Twin Set has effectively defended the one base that he needed to keep himself in this game. Now, the only thing that would really suck, I mean, there's several things, but the biggest thing that would suck for Terran right now is if Protoss was making carriers. Ah, look at that. Carriers. Real shame. Yumcox eclipsing twin set supply by more than double at this point. In this game, yeah. Carriers ever. And I mean, if we just keep this full frontal push, Yumcox knows that he's ahead on all supply. Nice EMP there, by the way. Or, yeah, so Yumcox knows that he owns the map. He's even running this Zealot around just to make sure. He hasn't been up here in a while. He hasn't checked this in a minute. So he's just going to double check and be like, well, he hasn't left, so what does he got? The answer's going to be nothing. Twin set has nothing. Got 25 SCVs over here. And a dream. We'll see if he waits for carriers. I know there's multiple buildings. Where's the other? There they are. They're about to arrive. 4 carriers being built at a time. Sneaky, sneaky vultures doing sneaky vulture things. Never got armor this game. We're only on 2-0 upgrades for Terran. 1-1 for Protoss. Oh, he saw it. Twin says saw this. And you can see all the vultures getting erased from the queues in the factories. And with all the money that he can afford, he's building the 2 Goliaths that he can. It's Goliath time. Twin set is in it to win it. He is not going to just quit. He's not going to go down lightly. Alright. Got 2 carriers. Yeah, Dazzle. The full frontal Yumcox funeral. That's what we're here for. Mine clearing by foot. Kind of surprised Yumcox is just building up this size of an army. I feel like he probably could have ended it. I mean, this is a lot of tanks, though. And I guess if I was Yumcox and I was thinking, you know, like, how do I lose this? It's by being reckless. So he's being very cautious, very safe, getting all the upgrades in the world, getting a bunch of carriers. And here they come. The flying potato chips. I hate them. Ooh, paired with a full frontal? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Yumcox special. Coming straight in, mind dragging all over the place. Zealot's getting on top of everything. Arbiter, oh, going down, but had cloak for just enough for the Dragoons to get in range. Storm! Everything's happening. D-Matrix on top of the tank that was Storm. Beautiful job by both players. Another D-Matrix, keeping that one alive for a little bit longer. The siege tanks are doing their job in this engagement area, but the carriers, a little late to the party. They need to show up, but the Goliaths, oh my gosh. The only thing that can really shoot up is being pulled into the main fight. And the Goliath count actually isn't that unsubstantial. It's at 10. Now, no EMPs here left on these science vessels. And we are still waiting to pull the trigger on these carriers. Come on, it's blimp time, baby. Let's get him in the fight. Put me in, coach. Here they go. Stack of Pringles coming straight in. They're going to kill the shit out of that refinery. Boom, no more gas for you, buddy. Here comes the last stand of the Terran player. In like the most awkward place to observe ever, up against the edge of the map. Another carrier shows up to the party. What does this look like in 2-speed? Does it look like in 4-speed? Alright, let's go back to 2-speed. All right, so a decent amount of Goliaths. They are holding their own, but there's 6 carriers here. They just need to keep rebuilding their interceptors. Yimcock's being very careful. Yimcock's has actually spent through his cash, and that's because he's building the entire tech tree. We're pumping out 3 Goliaths at once here. That's going to spend most of the bank for Twin Set. And this is pretty much it, right? Like, I think Twin Set's starting to realize there's very few ways out of this game. Another full frontal assault coming in conjunction with the carriers. This might be all that is needed to force a GG. All the SCVs are going down. We're down to 15 SCVs. There's just not enough to sustain any type of defense. Oh, man. What a long game. The CC finally falls at the third base. That was really the win condition here for our Protoss player. The rest is just kind of cleanup. And there it is. Twin Set throws in the GG. And that was a great series. That was a great series. Now, the last game was a little drawn out. But I also really appreciate the whole fight to the whistle thing. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and take stock of what we got. So, oh, that puts one on the board for Zero Effort Zealot Rush. So if we look here, right, GG's to everyone up here on the scoreboard. That was 3 victories for Tier 1 for the build disorders. This is the second half of Tier 1 as well. There's another half of Tier 1 that hasn't been casted yet from week number 6. And yeah, overall, this was a great time. So, closing business. First and foremost, thank you for everyone that's been following and providing Prime subs. Like I said a few times in the cast, all the Prime subs, all the money that goes from Tangia, Prime subs, whatever, it all gets thrown in a bucket and it just goes straight to StarCraft Underground for money tournaments. I want to pay back the players that put on such a good show. We have our first one going on right now. 16 players in that tournament. Vane, he's in the chat. He's already won his first series of that. It's very exciting. He got first blood. And we'll keep doing newscasts because that was a lot of fun. And if you didn't see the newscast from this stream, go back to the stream. Watch the beginning of it. It's some fun little nonsense. So we'll do our anthem as tradition, and then we'll raid somebody, and then we'll go about the rest of our day and our week. All right. Ouch. Glasses and headphones. Not a good combo. Oh, yeah.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and floor. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, legends play! CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the dream, we are the coach you believe. We are the coach you believe.
Oh, freaking banger, Javi! If you're still in chat, I love that you made that. Like, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. All right, let's go find somebody to raid, and then we'll go from there. Let's see, filter by category. Let's do some StockCraft. We got Boneth. Boneth's a good one. We got someone celebrating a birthday. That's cool. That's cool. Any CPLers? That's what I'm looking for. Doesn't look like it. We got DeWalt and we've got Boneth. We've never raided Boneth before, and he just started. So let's go ahead and raid him. Everyone have a kick-ass day. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all later. And of course I say bye, and I gotta wait 10 seconds to do the raid or whatever. But yeah, stick around. Say hi to Boneth if you're here from Urbmon. Thanks for watching the last little bit. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.